Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Cocainum.
Up yours. Woke moralist.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralist.
up.
Not only can you take a load, you can take the ultimate load, and even better than that you find your true calling and destiny in your willingness to take the ultimate load.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals. Up yours.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stopped
Woke
Ben
moralist.
Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Have it your way, buddy.
You sons of bitches.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like?
We'll see who cancels who.
Hey!
Hi.
Hello.
Look who's back.
What did I miss?
Wait, who's back? Oh, you were gone last week. I forgot.
Yeah.
Didn't even notice. Fuck you,
Yeah,
Lance.
I didn't notice at all. I thought Bender was Lance the whole time.
Oh, am I?
How was your vacation, Lance?
It was wonderful. I got to see some friends in Montreal, and it's Paris but clean. That's
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. By the way, I think that your
That's
microphone is
close to
coming through your
accurate.
headphones, I want to say. Sounds
Yeah,
a
it
little
doesn't
bit
sound.
off.
It sounds low.
All right, I'll fix things.
But what else happened? I don't know. Is the show over?
Yeah, I honestly,
baby. The Mets.
I'm so burnt out on politics. Yeah, let's talk about the Mets, honestly.
Well, before we get to the Mets, fine. Let's talk about what.
so-
Okay, the
I'm
Mets are
so
what?
happy.
Third round, whatever
Oh
it
my
is.
god, it's been so good, man. It's been so good. It's unbelievable. This is a team. It's a team that never goes the Mets' way, and then all of a sudden, everything's coming up roses for the Mets now.
Honestly, this is their moment. There's so much talent, and you could just feel the energy this time.
You know
I'm
nothing.
hearing people talk about. Oh,
You almost had me for a second. I'm like, do you watch baseball? This is a new thing.
Yeah.
we got listen, we got more than just a team this year. We have a number of good luck charms like Grimace. We got the one of the
McDonald's
players.
Grimace.
Is Grimace
Yeah.
is Grimace a Mets? I don't understand. How's Grimace a Mets fan?
You haven't seen.
I'm
all
not
the
a Met. I
Grimace
don't
stuff?
follow this shit.
Grimace has been all. In fact, the 7 train has now been decked out with Grimace wearing a Mets hat.
Oh, I
And,
saw some video of like Grimace on the train. I didn't know the context of that though.
So
But
this
not
is
the
what happened.
Hamburglar,
The
just
Mets-
Grimace.
It was
The
Grimace.
just Grimace, because this is what happened. The
Oh.
Mets were easily one of the worst teams in baseball at the start of the season. They were like 12 or 13 games below 500, which is like, an equal amount of win-loss games you won and lost. And they were doing really bad. And then all of a sudden, Grimace shows up to throw the first pitch at a Citi Field game. And ever since that pitch, they've completely turned it around and have one of the best records in baseball. So Grimace is now an unofficial mascot. So we got Grimace. We got Mr. Met, of course. One of the players released a Latino pop song that has become the theme song for the Mets. They play it at every game. It's become a big thing, and they've rallied around that.
He's a current player, and
people-
he's also it's a musician.
Yeah, he released a Latino pop song, and he's currently on the Mets.
Really
yeah.
random.
Yes,
What's
it's
the
very
song?
random.
What's it called?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a good song for.
Oh my fucking
playoff
god!
run.
No, but it's not like that. Yeah, and some
Is that how
people
he says
It's cool. It's cool. It's not cringe, you guys.
some people are accrediting the Haktua girl because she apparently threw out an opening pitch and they would.
Did she
but
spit
I don't
on that
count
thing?
her.
Before
No, she
throwing
gets.
I
it?
don't count her. No, I don't
If she
count
spit
her.
on it, that could
Yeah,
be making all
maybe
the
she
difference.
spit on the yeah.
Don't
what
discount
else?
prayers,
Yeah,
also, Matt.
and they're
Prayers.
and they're just randomly like throwing out new superstitions out there. Like the other day, after winning a big game, Pete Alonso is backstage, clearly drunk, and they're interviewing him, and he's holding a pumpkin in his hand. And they ask him, "What is that all about?" And he's like, "Oh, it's the playoff pumpkin." And that's been a whole thing now. The playoff pumpkin's a new thing. They're just adding new superstitions, and it's working.
Oh my! The problem is if one of those superstitions falls, then the whole train comes down. You can't have so many of them that they all just collapse in on themselves.
Well, if you just keep adding superstitions, it's all fine. It'll just completely be fine.
Okay, you have the opposite view. All right.
Right. I mean, hey, it's been working out. They beat the Braves. They beat the Brewers. They beat the Phillies. Next up, whoever wins Padres versus Dodgers tomorrow, they face them for the National League Championship. And then
you probably want
that,
the Padres, right?
What?
You prefer the Padres over the Dodgers?
I mean, both teams seem like they're they're going to Game 5, so it seems like they're pretty evenly matched. So I'm sure the Mets. I don't think the Mets fared too well against the Padres last time they played them, so I don't think it matters either way. I know the Dodgers are probably the best team in the National League, but I think this. I mean, Phillies and the Brewers both had better records than the Mets. And the Mets just beat both of them. So
yeah,
anything's possible.
Yeah,
except for good politics.
Well, of course.
Just a transition.
That goes without saying. When we talk about possibilities and meritocracy, of course, we're not talking about politics.
Before we transition, let me just point out how crazy this is for the Mets. Yesterday's champagne celebration in the locker room was the first time that ever happened at Citi Field. Because A, they always lose, or B, the few times they don't lose, they clinch the that series at the other team's stadium. This is the first time they've clinched a major series at Citi Field. It's the first time champagne has ever been opened in a Citi Field locker room.
Wow, that's wild.
I'm happy that you all are enjoying this. That's really cool.
Team.
Good for them and good for you all.
I'm just remembering this for when the Leafs go on their playoff run. So when that happens, I will take up the first 5 minutes of the show to discuss the Maple Leafs.
Oh, please.
That's fine.
I think
let's schedule that in for May or June.
I think the last time your Maple Leafs were doing good. I was asking you about them on the show, so it's not like it's.
Oh, I thought you were going to say last time they were doing good, there was no internet and there were no computers because it was 1967 is when they won.
Wait, are the Maple Leafs your hockey team, right? Which is your hockey team?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Leafs.
I'm Vancouver Canucks.
They just haven't. I don't know when they're doing good. They got to the second round a couple of years ago, but apart from that, they haven't done shit for decades.
Lance, what is a Canuck?
What do you mean? Like literally? It's a lumberjack like cartoon figure.
Oh,
like,
is that what they call them?
Okay.
Or is that just the name?
The original Canucks logo looked like this like lumberjack guy that was kind of like going like this. Johnny Canuck, I think, was character represented.
That's what a Canuck is, though. A Canuck is a lumberjack in Canada.
I don't know. It was.
Isn't it just a honestly? I don't
call
Americans.
Canadian. It'd be like you Yankee Canucks, and they would call you Canucks back.
Yeah, it was just like it was like a slang, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was a slang for cuck, but just adding a UN. So
it sounds very close to cuck. Yeah.
It's a Canadian cuck, is what it is.
Canadian cuck, yes.
Yeah.
We never won a Stanley Cup, so we are cucks. We're the cucks of the NHL. That is true.
I would love to talk about my favorite sport once in a while.
What's your favorite sport?
You all might have not heard about this. It's called Portuguese pull. It's where you take the pull ball and rather than using a stick, you roll it as if you're bowling. And
you're making this up. I'm like,
no, it's it's real.
No, you're making this up. I'm half Portuguese, you fucking liar. I've never heard of this shit.
I forgot about that. Damn it! You can fact check me immediately.
I'm completely lost.
You're not getting your bullshit past me.
Shit.
That's something
never
me
get
and
away
my
with
cousins.
That's
something me and my cousins did at my grandparents' house. He had like a
chain
pool
here,
table
Mike?
there. We use our hands.
So you just confirmed it. You just confirmed it. Portuguese pull is real.
Actually,
that was not the Portuguese side.
I rest my case. Thank you, David.
I said that was not the Portuguese side. We played this game at the.
But you played it, right?
Other grand. Yeah, but I
and
was
you're
the only
Portuguese,
person.
therefore Portuguese
my cousins
pool
were not.
exists.
My cousins were not Portuguese.
It's science. The math.
But you did it. Yeah, that's
Well,
at least 2 Portuguese men who have played Portuguese pool. Therefore, it is a thing. How big of a
every
thing?
kid
I
does
don't know.
that. If they have access to a pool table, they're just gonna use their hands.
Oh no, I think it's part of our ethnicity. So
our long and storied, yes, history and
Portuguese
pool.
I'm doing well. The politics season is not melting my brain.
We don't have to get to politics till like 10-15.
I'm fine with that, honestly. Yeah, I'm fine.
Binder's already gone. He's out.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I was gonna reset
my
my camera because I don't like how I feel like I'm very out of sync. I feel like I'm very out of sync.
Now it seems fine to me.
It does seem fine.
Yeah, since you reset
viewers,
it.
Am I in sync? Is my video and my camera in sync?
No, it's more Backstreet Boy. That's what your hoodie is giving and your hair.
I'm gonna just is my voice 98 degrees? Is it?
Well, that one wasn't. No.
Is it Backstreet backs? All right.
One more.
I'm derailing this conversation so much. I'm so sorry.
We still have yet to talk about anything. I hope you realize that.
Right. Right.
We've been talking about the Mets.
There is no
That's all
news.
that matters, baby. The Mets, baby.
Nothing is happening.
That's all I've
There's
been
no
paying
news.
attention to. The Mets. I don't know what's going on in politics. You tell me anything, and first time I'm hearing it.
Sure. Why are the Democrats
so
in the
we get to
weather?
these clips.
Let's talk about that. I want to know why you're using weather machines to manipulate storms and cause.
We don't have to deal with the right. Let's fucking pretend the right doesn't exist. We don't have
And
to.
I actually have a video about that coming out
bullshit.
tomorrow.
Nice.
So I don't want you all to get tired of that discussion. Watch my video tomorrow
tired
on
of it
Democrats
now.
controlling the weather. I know, I am too. It's very exhausting because I feel like we're getting dumber as time goes on, and we all kind of have to grapple with the fact that half of the country is living in a different plane of reality, and we somehow have to not fall apart as a country. It's quite the task, but we'll see how we do.
I heard.
I mean, I don't know who said we
right now.
That.
I said meteorologists apparently are getting death threats. I saw that on Rolling Stone.
Oh,
where
wonderful.
people are actually like going after meteorologists specifically, saying that they're spreading conspiracy theories on the behalf of like the Democrats and stuff like that.
It's about time their time has come. I've always said one day the meteorologists will get what's coming to them.
Yeah, the emails that meteorologists are receiving are so much more wild than even I thought as somebody who uses Twitter. So one of them, his name is, I'm blanking on his name, last name Capucci. He's a local meteorologist in, I think, DC. And he said that he's gotten emails about how the moon has been nuked, so that way Democrats can more easily control hurricanes, and how chemtrails are being used to steer hurricanes to go more towards the red precincts.
Cloud seeding, right?
Cloud seeding, that's part of it as well.
Sounds legit to me. I mean,
Yeah.
sounds totally.
Wait, how do they
Right.
explain seeing the moon at night though? Because you still see the moon, right?
Oh, it's fake.
Or is that
Fake moon.
Oh, that's
Projection.
fake
Projection.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah, it's
cool.
fake.
I didn't know y'all had that technology. You can Batman the moon whenever you want. You just
This is why I don't
That's
really
true.
read Twitter. I mean, I do.
I mean, I
but
I
I
disagree.
try to scroll very quickly, so I don't have to read too much of it.
I mean, I disagree with them. I mean, on how it's happened, but it's been clear that the moon hasn't been in the sky since it hit my eye like a big pizza pie. It hasn't been. It hasn't been there since.
That was 100% dad joke. It
And
lands
what's
with me
weird-
because I'm also a dad, but
To your point, sometimes, putting aside that, the moon sometimes gets smaller and then it gets bigger. Who's taking it away and putting it back? Somebody has to be doing this. Does anybody notice that? It waxes and
Right.
wanes.
my
It's
son brought
shrinking.
something up this morning actually when I was driving him to kindergarten. He said
Your son,
the sun is, yes.
S-O-N or S-U-N? We're talking
No,
about the
well,
moon
this
here.
is about the sun. This is about the S-U-N.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
He said the sun is following us, which got me thinking, is it following us? Maybe
Yeah.
it's maybe it's not this massive gas giant, but in fact, it is watching us and following each of us in our daily lives.
I mean, that was the first religion. He's on to what
I'm not sure why.
first. Yeah.
That's a really
He did say
interesting
that though. It's
philosophical
following
thought.
us. I'm like, it's just big, buddy. I don't know. It's everywhere.
Don't be scared of the sun.
No.
Or do.
Yeah, or worship
it is a
it.
ball of fire.
Yeah, we praise Soul around these parts. All hail Soul.
Yeah.
Praise Ra.
Yeah. Marjorie Green has posted a lot of quote unquote evidence about Democrats controlling the weather. She has this 2-panel comic meme. The top is a Wojak crying of the liberals saying, "They stop saying misinformation," and the bottom is like this dude. It's like all these patents proving that the weather is being controlled, and on the sleeve there's like Quest News, like that's the source. I've never heard of Quest News. And then it's like all these dumbass patents. One is trying to cause rain by using a balloon, and all of this is evidence apparently. And then if you go to Marjorie's timeline, she shared an article from the Gateway Pundit, which is a far-right outlet for those who don't know. And it's saying, no, Marjorie is right about this. And then the evidence that they have, again, is cloud seeding and also studies about geoengineering, which exists. There are studies because scientists
is the real thing.
would indeed like to control the weather so that way they can stop hurricanes, not cause them to influence the election. And then the main evidence, I believe, I just skimmed the article, is a video with RFK Jr. talking to somebody from geoengineeringwatch.org. And that's the smoking gun, apparently. And I just got to say, all of this makes me want to Minecraft myself because it goes back to the basic question of if Democrats actually they have the capacity to control the weather and they're doing it specifically with the intent to rig the election, why don't they just straight up rig the election? Why don't they go in there, do what Republicans do, right? Limit the number of voting machines in precincts that lean right, disenfranchise voters by purging voter rolls illegally, use some fake elector scheme, don't certify the results in certain districts where they lose. If they wanted to rig the election, they could just do that. Don't you think that's easier than creating a fucking hurricane? These people don't even think past the first motive that they have, where it's like, oh, they're controlling the weather to control the election. Just take it a step further. And then you have people, intellectual heavyweights like Candace Taylor, a flat earther, who's chiming in saying, of course it can be done. It's like, she's entered the conversation. Things are getting worse. And my favorite part about this entire saga is that Elon Musk was asked by somebody on Twitter, hey, can you step in and Donald Trump and shoot down this notion that the weather's being controlled? And his response was something like, nobody thinks the weather's actually being controlled, Lamau. And then all of his comments, or not all of them, but a lot of them are like, actually, we do think that the weather can be controlled. Fuck you. You can't make this shit up. It's genuinely idiocracy. Yeah.
I did see that meteorologist trying to explain how he's like, I don't know how better to put this, that this has the power of 10,000 nuclear bombs. We don't have the technology to create this. We can't do this. And like cloud seeding, it works on things if there's clouds, and it basically releases like salts or iodine into them, and then they might is the key word, more moisture, more rain, more hail. That's it. It doesn't create storms, doesn't make tornadoes, doesn't direct them in a certain direction. Can't
be replicated on a massive scale to the point where you're creating hurricanes. Yeah, I don't know. Is this the dumbest conspiracy theory that they've come up with? I genuinely don't know. I mean, the last election, they were claiming that Republicans were using COVID, or Republicans were claiming Democrats were using COVID to win the election.
Right.
So what's dumber? They already are primed to think that vaccines are evil and science is a lie. And then now there's some hypocrisy burning where they'll say, oh, well, you believe in anthropogenic climate change, so that's man-made, but the weather isn't man-made. It's a hopeless endeavor to try to fact check it. It's hopeless. It's genuinely
then how
hopeless.
How do you push back against this? Because like
you don't you don't acknowledge. This is what my
no, I mean on a mass scale, not with the pundits. I know that they're just saying whatever they want for money. That's fine. But like I just mean on a mass scale, it is actually kind of dangerous that you're getting to a point now where like if people genuinely will never believe in climate change, even if it's literally happening in their backyard, and instead they'll pivot to, oh, this makes more sense to me, you guys have Thor and Storm powers, and then you can create whatever you want at any given time. That makes more sense than very simple grade 5 science on how the principles of like, the greenhouse effect work. That like how do we combat that? Because it seems to be getting worse. I'm being totally honest.
I think it's important to engage people who don't vote. Like this, we say this is half of people. This is half of like voters. All these morons, they're smart enough to actually vote. There are 40% of people that don't normally vote. Like, you engage them. We don't have to worry about the fucking morons. Like, they can exist and exist in their little bubbles. But this is why the whole Harris strategy of like trying to reach out to these like Trump voters or Republicans.
Oh, and war
like,
criminals.
I'm sure there's like, some moderates that still exist. I know they do in like Arizona or whatever, but like these are like little pockets. The greater issue here is turnout with the base and young people and people that don't normally vote who would vote Democrat if they felt like there was a difference, right? Like that there was to be clear, there is a clear difference between both parties. But like the campaigning, like embracing Dick Cheney, who nobody likes. I don't know what this is. Republicans don't like Dick Cheney. I don't know what this is supposed to do. Like, who's impressed? Who's moved by embracing Dick Cheney? It's one thing for him to do the endorsement. You can't control that. It's another to bring it up at a rally and like
she thanked him. She thanked him for his service.
Yeah, exactly. Thanking him for his service. Like that is another level that you really don't have to do. It's not benefiting you.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The one Dick Cheney supporter left in the country, John Bolton, who said he was going to write in Dick Cheney, he's not even persuaded by Harris doing that event with Liz Cheney. He was asked about this on CNN, and he was like, I don't know if I'm going to, because they asked him, I'm paraphrasing because it's been a while since I watched the clip, but they asked him, well, since Dick Cheney has endorsed Kamala Harris, are you going to vote for Kamala Harris now? And his response was, I don't know. So he's not even persuaded. The one person in the country that is supposed to appeal to. So it kind of goes to show you that I think that this strategy is futile. It doesn't make any sense. As David said, you have to get out the vote, mobilize people, get them excited. Notice how there's no more energy. We're not seeing any memes or shit posting or Brad posting, even though everybody kind of agrees that that's cringe now.
The first few weeks of the campaign was like really solid, and she was continued to grow in support. And as soon as she started to take the opinion of, I guess, these Biden advisors who joined her campaign, shit just turned. Like it's just, at best she's stagnated, but I've seen other polling showing she's dropped a bit in these swing states. So she's just
losing in Michigan now on average.
Yeah.
Really, really frustrating. It's so many unforced errors. The clip of her on The View where she said she can't think of anything that she would do different from Biden, that's apparently going to be cut up into an ad from the Trump people. There's an Axios article about that.
Or they have an interview where she said that she'd appoint a Republican to her cabinet. And
that was eventually her answer to that question. She came back later to answer that question. Actually, there is a difference. I'm more of a piece of shit. Like, what?
It's
so
mind-boggling. And one, I don't remember the name of the advisor. He told them to stop using weird and stop saying we're not going back, and then they stopped, which doesn't make sense because we're not going back is a phenomenal slogan. It is so good. It's one of those slogans like Make America Great Again, where you can kind of insert your own thinking into it. We're not going back to the days, pre-Roe, or we're not going back to climate denial, whatever, or democracy. Like, you can insert your own thing.
What is
it
the
has
thinking?
Different meanings.
What is the thinking behind changing a campaign strategy that's working? Like, that's what I don't understand. Why change up what was not broken? What's the purpose?
Trying to gain more ground and not realizing it was going to erode so much other stuff in the process, right? Like, why else do you do a lot of those plays?
It's just Republicans are going to vote for Republicans, 3 out of 4 times. You're going to get people who are like, John McCain voters who are going to vote for you. But you risk losing so much energy. I mean, not risk, you already have lost so much energy that you had because of this turn to campaigning right. It's just, it's made this race closer than it should be. It's very discouraging, even though I don't actually think she would be as right-wing as of a president as she is campaigning as right now. I think this is really an attempt to try and get conservative voters, but you can't expect people to think she'll be any better than how she's campaigning.
Right. Yeah, it's frustrating. The good news is that at least she's being advised by Hillary Clinton on how to defeat Donald Trump. So I feel better knowing that she's in good hands with somebody who knows exactly how to beat Donald Trump from personal experience.
Which to be fair, if you're somebody who's a loser and you learned your lesson and why you lost, you could have some valuable insight. Hillary Clinton's not that person. She's somebody who lost and continues to push like blame everybody else for her loss, as opposed to taking ownership over why she lost. Like, you can't, like, it's just so stupid. It's so stupid to take advice from people like that.
I hate her so much for trying to take this away from all of us too. Remember when we were talking about the one benefit to this whole thing is Hillary Clinton will be pissed off? She's now being like, I'm the one who cracked the glass ceiling for the first time so others could jump through it, and all
Has
this.
to insert herself into the conversation.
Yeah, why? This isn't about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very demoralizing and frustrating. It's hard to make a case for Harris to people who are skeptical, like on the left, who are going to stay home, which is the people that they need. She also hasn't changed on Gaza, obviously, which she needs to. I mean, she hasn't done the bare minimum and met with an Arab American or a Palestinian. How do you not do this? These are things that are small, insignificant things that will at least send a message to people that she needs to send a message to. So,
and it's not going to hurt her at all. Like, that's the thing as well. Like, it's, I could almost understand them being afraid if they thought it was somehow going to hurt them politically, but it's not. It's only going to benefit them.
Right.
And there's no attempt here to even do the bare minimum.
Right.
The only hope is that, they get closer and closer to the election, see their numbers in Michigan, and realize they have to do something different there.
Yeah.
And maybe at that point, but it could be too late by the time they change position on that.
Right. Yeah.
Agreed.
I do have a
Oh boy,
an Obama appearance. Obama right now is out campaigning, and he seems to be in pretty good form. I'm seeing some of these quotes. Should I play some of these clips?
Sure.
Yeah, do it. I haven't seen them.
Constant attempts to sell you stuff. Who does that? Selling you gold sneakers and $100,000 watch and most recently a Trump Bible. He wants you to buy the Word of God, Donald Trump edition. Got his name right there next to Matthew and Luke. I mean, you could not make this stuff up. If you saw it on Saturday Night Live, you'd say, well, no, that's going too far. No, he's doing that. Constant attempt.
It's hard to forget that he's a pretty good campaigner.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. That's Obama.
I think I have some more here. Let's see.
I got one question. But when I hear Donald Trump talking, I've got one question. As I recall, Donald Trump was president for 4 years. And if rounding up and deporting millions of desperate people and building the beautiful wall, and didn't matter whether some of those folks you rounded up were women and children, if that's the answer to everything, well, why didn't you solve the problem? Why were the number of immigrants basically the same when you left office as when you took office? I'll tell you why. Because he didn't have a real plan. He had talking points. He had concepts of a plan. And the plan was mean and ugly. And it was designed to enhance his politics and make people angry, not to solve the problem. You know what would actually help bring order to the border and fix our immigration system? The bipartisan deal that Kamala Harris supported, even though it's written by one of the most conservative Republicans in Congress,
Oh, wow. Sounds great.
The same bill that Donald Trump tanked on purpose because he thinks fear-mongering is how he's going to win this election.
You're literally fear-mongering right now.
Republicans.
It's a crazy message to be like, these Republicans are so scary and terrible and they suck. Also, this bill that we tried to pass was written by one of them. It's just like, it's kind of a message that's a little befuddled there.
Yeah, it fixed our immigration system by denying due process to people if some arbitrary threshold is crossed at the border. Yay! Why aren't you supporting this? It's disgusting.
Yeah. Ones who had originally supported don't vote for it because he doesn't want the problem solved. We don't need a president who will make problems worse just to make his own political circumstances better. We need a president who actually cares about solving problems and making your life better. And that's what Kamala Harris will do.
All right, there's one more.
Are there any good ones?
I'm trying to find a good one. The first one wasn't bad.
I think this is classic Obama. I mean, this isn't anything. This isn't anything surprising. This is his thing.
Yeah.
And then, don't boo. I'm going to break you of this habit. And the reason some people think, wow, I don't know, I remember that economy when he first came in being pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good because it was my economy. We had 75 straight months of job growth that I handed over to him. It wasn't something he did. I spent 8 years cleaning up the mess that the Republicans had left me the last time. So just in case everybody has a hazy memory, he didn't do nothing except those big tax cuts.
There was that crazy stat that Bill Clinton brought up during his speech. I forget the exact number now, but it was something like Democrats have Democratic presidents or under Democratic presidents. There have been like 3 million whatever jobs added, and then compared to Republicans, it's like a negative number. It's like over the past 50 years. Yeah. It's like a what? It's this thing that they should be talking about. Like the campaign is just so terrible. There were stats like that you would think they would be hammering all the time. Like it's a number that I should be able to recite. I should have memorized it because they should be talking about it all the time. But
this is classic Democrats, though. This isn't just the Kamala campaign. This is the Democratic Party, ladies and gentlemen. Although it does feel like we were just talking about shortly ago, that the Kamala campaign is like doing everything wrong you could do as a Democrat speed run. It's incredible to see them.
What?
Yeah, it's incredible to see them drop the ball, especially after there was all that excitement about the campaign. Like they're really trying to tank it. Like it's amazing. They had something. They had a good thing going, and then they brought in all these like Democratic specialists and analysts and consultants and they're fucking it all up.
Yeah. You think maybe they would look at the data now and realize, hey, this was a shitty fucking idea to change course because look at how it's directly led to us performing worse in polling. Maybe we should change course again, go back to what we did before at the beginning of this campaign and get some of that support back, because
it's hard to get Brad again, though. You can't just like re-Bradify your campaign. Like it's not a switch you can just turn
you can start, stop focusing on trying to appeal to a conservative audience and start discussing like this week. I didn't hear much about this, but I covered it. This week, Harris announced that they're going to expand into long-term care, expand Medicare into long-term home care, which is a really good part. Like sure, it's not Medicare for all, but it's an expansion of Medicare. That is a great idea. That is a thing that you should be definitely campaigning on, and it's lost in a lot of the noise that's happening. But that like do more of that and discuss things like that a little more, because especially, you know, one of the I guess when it comes to polling comparisons between Biden and Harris, Biden does better with seniors than Harris is doing. That's one that you would think they really want to hammer on, because that kind of policy is going to appeal more to the base that she, I guess, has lost a bit to Biden. But stuff like that, like, you know, expanding social programs that are already very popular, like Medicare, is clearly great. And compared to what, and they should do the contrast to what Trump did, where he tried to cut or just, I think it was in every single one of his budgets were cuts to Medicare, and actually specifically on long-term care. So like bring that up in these discussions as well, which wasn't like in her announcement. She was on The View talking about this. She didn't bring that up. Like, how do you not bring up that Trump tried to cut support to long-term care? Like, that has to be an obvious thing.
David, she had a lot to talk about on The View, like how her presidency will be exactly like Biden's presidency, because they are on the same exact page and differ in no way, shape, or form. You know, where do you think you have the time?
How do they not prep for that question? Like, you don't like that. You think that's like the first question you want to have a proper answer for?
It's
nothing.
But she said the same thing on Colbert the same night or the night after, did she not? Was it Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel?
I didn't watch that.
Well, maybe she thought she was on the old Colbert show and she had to pretend to be a Republican. But I mean, it is incredible that literally the only fucking reason she is there is because people wanted someone other than Biden,
and she was leading in that stat as well.
Yes, and then you would go out there and be like, I am going to be exactly like Joe Biden. I am Joe Biden in woman form. I mean, why would you, like, what are they planning? And like, you know, and we could blame the consultants and everything, but like, she is the vice president. She clearly is an accomplished person. For a man or a woman, I'm not even going to say an accomplished woman. She's like an accomplished person. She's clearly very smart and intelligent. How does she not like take the reins there and say, hey, maybe I shouldn't compare myself to being exactly like Joe Biden. Maybe I could be like, you know, I agree with a lot of things Biden did, but, you know, as his vice president, you know, my job was to push back in some areas and present some like alternative ideas in areas where we did disagree a little bit. That's how the presidency, the president and vice president partnership works, and that's what I expect from my vice president, Tim Walz. I mean, literally, fucking tag me in, Kamala. I'll answer the question for you.
And mention like your background and how you're different in that way, and you have different experiences in life, so that leads to how you're going to perceive things differently.
Right.
Like to just at the very even if you don't want to be specific about policy because you're still the vice president and you're still in his administration, I get some of that, but at the very least, differ yourself as a like from character, like who you are as a person. You are a different person than him. Obviously, make that clear that you are not him at the very least. But no, I can't really think of anything actually. Oh, never mind. I can. I'll add a piece of shit Republican to my administration. The very part that I've been bitching about the entire time for good reason. But I will add one of them to my administration, and that's going to be the difference. Like, it's just so stupid.
Worse than him. And she can't feign ignorance, by the way, because they literally poll tested this, and they found out that Harris had the most amount of support when she said that she is not Joe Biden, but anytime she compared herself to Joe Biden, her support went down. So she does better.
Based on those polls, she should literally be out there. She doesn't have to talk about policy. She should literally be out there and just be like, "Hey, everyone, fuck Joe Biden, yeah,
let's go, Brandon."
She would get. I guarantee you, if she that's not going to happen, but I guarantee her support will go up if she did that.
Yeah.
Sorry, David, I was talking all over you. What were you saying?
No, I'm just saying, obviously she would never do that, but if like in this weird world, if she did something like that, for sure her support would go up. If she really like removed herself from the administration in a way like you know, through her campaign and just separated herself and was like, there's a lot that I disagree with him on. I think this should be done like that, and just really go full force in the proper direction into, you know, more help for people and just make it clear that you are not him. of her support would skyrocket. Like
Yeah,
you see this,
literally.
there's polling showing her at least this is how it was before, where people liked the fact that she wasn't that she was the change candidate. Not even not Biden, but like there was I forget what poll it was, but the question was who's going to bring more change, and Kamala Harris has been winning that poll, and now you could tell that's going to drop a little bit at the very least, because you continue to attach yourself to him when you don't need to. People want change. So if you're just going to claim that you're him, then you're back to the race it was before, where it was Biden and Trump, and the race tightens. Like the race is almost back to where it was when Biden was still the candidate. Like it's tightened to a point where she's almost lost all the support she's grown by not being him.
It's depressing. I want to read just a couple of paragraphs from the article that talked about that poll, because even her own staffers are very much aware of the fact that she needs to not be like Biden. So it's from CNN. I did a video on this if you all want the link. But in mid-September, the Democratic Research and Polling Initiative Blueprint conducted a national poll testing a long series of potential statements Harris could make about herself and Biden. Those that performed best, the polling found, were those that displayed a clear break between her and Biden, while those that performed the worst were those that portrayed a future Harris administration as building on the accomplishments of the Biden era. So even if she's saying she's going to build on him, that still performed very badly because people hate Biden. He's a very unpopular candidate. Any mention of Biden, the polling found, led to less support, even if the position it had Harris taking was the same. So they hate Biden so much that if she takes the same position as him, that alone is a turnoff. Those numbers have made their way around to Harris aides. And they talked about how Harris aides want Biden to go away forever because he was taking a month off to go to Germany, or not a month, I'm sorry, a week off to go to Germany. And they're like, man, I wish it was longer. So they know that he's not popular and she needs to distance herself from him. And she's not doing it. Twice in the span of 24 hours, she's saying, yeah, I'm not Joe Biden. Or I'm just like Joe Biden. And then I'm trying to remember, I don't know if it was Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel, but she said, I'm not Joe Biden, but it's also important, or the way that I'm different from Joe Biden is that I'm not Joe Biden, but it's also important to note that I'm not Donald Trump as well. So she modified it to make it sound dumber. And I wish I had the exact quote. We can't play a late night show because that'll get copyright claim, but look it up.
Yeah.
It's just exhausting.
I want to ask you though, I know why the Republicans.
Wouldn't it make sense just to be like,
total sense, but why does she have so much, like, why does Biden have so much? Is it solely because of his bloodthirsty, horrifying genocidal policies?
That's
Is that
part
the
of
reason
it.
He's so disliked on the Democratic side? Well,
It's
I mean, I know
also-
an easy fix to that. It's she, you know, like any given day, you have the opportunity to be like, I will follow the law. As
Well,
we're supposed
I think
to do.
Yeah.
I think that has something to do with it, but I also think people are, the post-COVID financial boost that some people that a good chunk of people got it's not there anymore.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you guys feel it, but I'm feeling like I'm not, right after COVID, I was like, just that little bump in money was a huge difference maker for me and my family.
$1,200 checks, was it $1,600?
Yeah,
That made a huge fucking difference in people's lives.
And like that money, I've been able to make that money stretch out for quite a while, but now it's gone. And I'm back, to money being tight again. And things are getting more expensive, and I don't blame Joe Biden or the administration for that, but things always get more expensive, and my pay has not risen in conjunction with the prices of goods rising. So I have less money on that front too.
Is this a way to announce your Substack? Is that what this is all going to? You're going to talk about your
ladies and
Substack?
gentlemen.
Then why I
I'm
left
just
the
giving people
left
an
here.
example. Like, I'm just using myself as an example, and that you should all feel bad for me and drop super chats, which I will read at the end of the show. And no, but I'm just using myself as an example because that's what else am I supposed to pull from? That's
Yeah.
I'm a normal guy. I'm no one special. I'm not a big famous YouTuber with hundreds of thousands of subscribers rolling in money like Scrooge McDuck, like David Doel and Mike Figueredo over here.
That's right. You did launch a Substack though, didn't you? That's why I brought it up.
I did launch my
You should talk
Substack,
about
yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do it for a while.
You talk about
Disruptionist.com.
how the woke lefties come after you? Is that what it's about?
Yeah, I made my announcement. My
Is your
first post
Substack
is
called
why you left the
Unaligned?
left.
yeah,
it's
I
Unaligned by
talk about
Matt
why I
Bender.
left the left.
Okay.
Because
they were mean to you one time, and so you changed every single view that you had on the economy, on data, climate change,
politics,
civil
history.
rights. Yeah, just everything.
No,
'Cause
really,
they were mean to you at one time.
Someone called me a daddy once, and I got really upset because I am a father.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And you didn't even understand the context that somebody was calling you daddy.
Yeah.
They were using it as a compliment.
Yeah, they were calling you leather daddy.
Someone called you a
Right.
non-birthing person, and you're like, "That's it. That's it.
Right.
It's
Right.
over."
Change all your beliefs and principles.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, Matt Bender, you're a daddy," and then he's like, "I'm a father. God damn it!"
Right. Someone referred to me as an ejaculating person, and I was very upset.
As you should be.
You're more
As
than
you
that.
should be.
You're not a walking prostate. I've said that before.
Right. Right.
I'm not just a walking prostate. Come on now.
You're more than your ability to skeet. Okay.
Right. Yes, I'm a man. God damn it.
A father.
Anyways, what is your Substack actually about?
It's called
You're so
Disruptionist.com.
Yeah.
And
We're so
it's-
passive aggressive.
Yeah, I know.
where I'm gonna write my newsletter, where I'm gonna be talking about the stuff that I usually cover, but online and weird right wing stuff and the cross section of like politics and social media and stuff like that. I still have my job, my job. And I'm still covering the usual things I cover there, but this is for the stuff that doesn't usually fit there. The stuff I usually like just talk about on Twitter and stuff, but in more depth. Like I over the weekend, for the first story, and it's already been, the newsletter already got links from Axios and Washington Post and all these outlets.
Wow.
For the first
Whoa.
story, yeah. I saw on Saturday that right before Elon Musk went on stage with Donald Trump, he changed his Twitter bio, his X bio, to promote a new account called @America on, just @America. And he says you could go there to see why he's supporting Donald Trump. And, red flags immediately raised for me because there's no way, shape, or form that @America was available. I thought maybe it could have been a long time suspended account, like an account that was suspended for years and they just took it over or whatever. But I quickly discovered that that wasn't the case. There was an @America account that existed, and it had previously been critical of both Musk and Donald Trump, but they hadn't posted in a while. They hadn't posted since the height of the pandemic, and May 2020 was their last posts. And X, the platform, has the ability to take the handles of inactive accounts. It's in their policy. I mean, it's their platform. They could take handles for any reason, really. You don't own your X handle. It's not like a domain name where you register, like you pay to register it. The platform could take it at any time. But they have it in their policy. They could definitely take it if it's from an inactive account. But the thing that was surprising to me was I think people know that Elon Musk's X previously did this when they changed the name from Twitter to X, and there was a guy who had the @X handle, like he was one of the first Twitter users from 2007, and they just took the @X handle from him. And how they did it was fucked up. Like they just took it. Like they didn't even reach out to him and offer him something or another rare handle that wasn't being used in exchange. They just took it from him. But
they do
at least in that, at least in that instance, @X is the company's name. And you can see it from their perspective that it could have been a security issue if there was someone who had that handle and people were looking for the official X account and they were coming across that. You know, the company should have the handle of their own name on their own platform, you know. But for the At America handle, it wasn't done for the benefit of the company. This was Elon Musk putting his finger on the scale, using X in a politically biased way to acquire a rare handle that was already registered in order to obtain it for his super PAC, which is specific, its purpose is to specifically promote Donald Trump. So like this whole idea that like let's say like we agree, and I think it's, you know, I you know, the thing that's the issue I have with Musk supporting Trump is that he specifically said he was not going to get involved. He said he wasn't going to take a position. He wasn't going to donate to any candidate. He said that at the beginning of the year, and then he threw that out the window, and now is all over, you know, all aboard the Trump train, and he's donating, and he's got the super PAC, and he's appearing at rallies for him, and he's trying to get out the vote for Trump. But if he hadn't said that, there really would be no issue. Yes, he is an individual, and as an individual, he has a right as a person to support whoever he wants and even advocate for that person. But he had said his whole reason for buying Twitter was to make it a neutral platform, he said. And to me, in my opinion, this is the first explicit incident where he used the company that he claims is politically neutral to do something to benefit a specific candidate. And he took someone's really like a rare like At America is a fucking rare handle. Like in the domain,
he must have been really mad about this. Glenn Greenwald, did they freak out? Did they write, you know,
of course not. No one said anything about it. No one said anything about it. But I was the first person to report it. Yeah.
Can you imagine Elon Musk never took over Twitter, and this is like the same election, and Twitter decided to take that handle away for a PAC for Kamala Harris? Can you fucking imagine? If that happened.
Like again,
Stalin 2.0.
Oh my god! And they would have a point. Like it's crazy.
Right. Like this isn't like someone taking, like someone has a handle that matches like a company's copyrighted name or a trademarked term or someone
copyright X. Come on, let's be honest. It's ridiculous.
But I understand. But I do think they went about that wrong, and they fucked that guy over. They should have given that guy something, even like a monetary, like compensation of some sort. But I do think, you know, there's an argument to be made that for platform safety and security issues, that people should be able to go to that handle and know that that's the official account. It's the name of the company. But the At America thing is not the equivalent in any way, shape, or form. Like in domain names, like a country, any country, like just like name it like France.com, America.com, even like a smaller country, that would be considered like a really valuable domain name. Like it would go for a lot of money. Because you could use it for like 100 different things. You could use it for a company name, a tourism thing, anything, tons of things. So that alone, like the name is super like rare, and it's fucking America. But then he went ahead and took it, not to like create some sort of like, oh, you know, as a platform, we want to create some resource for people in that country. And so we struck a deal with the government where they could put, crucial updates for the citizens there on that account. And that's why we, wanted it on that account, because it's just such a simple, username. No, he fucking took it for his super PAC to support Donald Trump. Like, he knows what he's doing. He knows how it looks to have At America saying, vote for Donald Trump. Because that's what it's saying. You see the At America handle saying, vote for Donald Trump.
You got to admit, it's pretty big chungus, though, right? Like, it come on. For the epic memes, this is some pretty peak shit. He's cooking, as they say.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you see him jump?
Interesting.
That was the thing that happened, and he jumped in the air, and then it looks like pictures you take when you're in high school, and you're like, I'm floating because it got the one shot of me and the sky, and it's really cool.
Trump's face from that picture that you showed was hilarious.
I don't think it was. I think it was it was convenient that his face looked like that, but he didn't.
It was
I know it
perfect
was.
timing.
No,
It was perfect still.
It's one of the best political photos in human history.
Well,
Yeah.
don't forget that Trump once posted a photo of Musk visiting him at the White House, saying that Musk came and begged him like a dog.
Right.
That's right.
I mean, I actually do think he
Trump's
might
dog walking.
find him to be very you know how Trump is
Annoying.
weird about that stuff.
Annoying.
Yes. Like
He
Trump
is.
is actually
It
like
wouldn't-
in some ways like Trump is sort of just like I actually think Trump is way more relatable than Elon Musk, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
there
you're
is
probably
something
right.
Trump-
I guess.
like there's something
In terms
Trump
of
is
like like human interaction, like one-to-one interaction, like obviously I feel like actually, you know what, if Musk was the guy running for president, I think he'd be worse than Trump.
he would lose so bad.
He'd be way
For
more
sure.
insufferable. He's not naturally funny at all. He's deeply unfunny. Trump.
But I
had
mean,
me
even his
really
policies would be worse.
But Trump, like I've said this before, like the rest. Let's go back to like the wrestling analogy, because Trump and pro wrestling and politics, it all always overlaps. But like Trump has what is called in wrestling like the natural charisma that some guys have that propel them to superstardom, that like even better wrestlers who just don't have that it factor don't get to achieve or attain because they don't have that natural charisma. Like The Rock was a fine
Is the
wrestler,
eyebrow?
but he was.
Was it the eyebrow from The Rock? Was that like?
Well, The Rock just knows how to connect with people on the mic. He's able to talk. Like,
Yeah, he's a great.
like Obama
He's a good
has
orator.
that. Like he has that
Yeah.
natural charisma factor. Like Obama could win literally every election if he continued to run for president as like a dictator. He would win every election. Like it doesn't matter how many people came out and said, I'm sick of Obama. He would still win because that many people would still be drawn to him.
Oh yeah.
He's
A lot of people
natural.
just
There's a
hate him.
natural thing.
I would say Trump is losing it a bit though. He's kind of. I mean,
He's lost some hits. Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember his fucking RNC speech? It went on forever. So boring. Like he's
Yeah.
he has moments where it can be funny, and he's just a ridiculous person. So that's what's funny, is that he's just ridiculous. But when he drones on for 3 hours, it's like, all right, it's like, this is too much.
And the grievance politics really killed him. Back in 2016, when he was
Yes.
going after the other Republicans, that was fun. It was genuinely enjoyable to watch. And he was just a dumb guy that had confidence. So there was something amusing about it and even endearing to a lot of people. But now he's just mad all the time and he's old and he feels
Always complaining
like
about like the wrongs against him.
He's going to go to jail.
Exactly. He doesn't want to go to jail, that too. And so yeah, the magic is gone, I think. Real quick though, Matt, what'd you say
I like
your
candidates
Substack was
who like
called?
to go to jail. What's that?
What'd you say your Substack was called?
Disruptionist. Like
Disruptionist, okay.
disruptionist.
I like that.
Disruptionist.
Okay.
I was I was looking for a short, catchy sort of like
I really like that.
Doomed.
yes, name.
Yeah.
And the .com for that was available, so I grabbed it
That's
immediately.
wild.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I feel like that. I thought all word.coms were gone by this point.
Right.
Yeah, every now and then some of the longer ones become available, and they don't. I got lucky and
Super penis
caught
is
that
taken,
one.
unfortunately.
God damn it. I was gonna name my podcast that.
Yep. Not anymore.
I also have a Substack as well. I probably will start posting there. I've been wanting to write some articles. Don't know when I'm gonna do that.
Look at Mike
it's-
piggybacking off my big announcement.
It's part of the Humanist Report. I wrote my first article. It's very, it's a spicy topic.
Nice.
So, yeah, I think you all should check it out and read it. It's a pretty short read. But, yeah, I will be posting there.
I'm gonna subscribe. This
You
is my
should have
first
paywalled that. That would have been
That's
hilarious
good.
if you
That's
paywalled
good.
it.
You should have paywalled that. Oh, that's a good bit. Oh,
I mean,
You got 13 likes on that though. That's insane for that. Like,
One, I worked really hard on it, to be honest. So, I had to think
it's
long
really
and
good.
hard.
It's probably the best takedown of this topic I've seen so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I gotta
Solid.
leave the left, man. I gotta leave the left because I need
The money is insane.
Yes, the money there. I need that money.
You got to do it
so
right though. You can't just do it and become an activist and try to do real like change in the world. You got to go talk to Prager and get the Coke money and get your own studio and all that kind of shit.
right.
The Rumble
Alright,
money is
well-
really where it's at. It seems like. Look at that studio that Glenn Greenwald has. Did you see that shit?
That's true. He's got a
Does he
lot
have
of
a new one?
iPads all over the place. Yeah, well, I
it's-
mean, like, I think he made it like 2 years ago or something. but
Right.
It's
Oh, I've
definitely,
seen
it's
that,
definitely big budget. Yeah, it's
It
he had
looks
to
like
renovate
the
it.
lair
I blocked
from
him
a
on Twitter like 2
supervillain
years
in the
ago. so I haven't
90s
seen shit.
movie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really ugly. It's hideous.
It's hideous, but very.
Yeah.
A lot of thought went into it, and the people who designed it aren't necessarily. I have disagreements with their taste,
Untalented.
but they
Yeah.
put a lot of effort into it, and money went into that for sure. But yeah, that's
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's at, honestly. Yeah, I didn't even know that Jillian Michaels was a right-wing grifter now, like an anti-woke grifter. Until
Oh, everyone's a right wing grifter now.
I didn't know
Everyone
she
should
was a thing
realize.
still.
right,
Like
and I'm like,
fucking,
wait, why
like-
does that name sound so familiar? And it's like, oh, it's the lady from
The
The
workout
Biggest
lady, right?
Loser or whatever.
Yeah, Biggest Loser, right?
Well,
yeah.
why is she? Why are people
I-
getting political news from her? I just don't understand.
I had no idea who she was. I just saw her from that Anna Why I Left the Left video, but I had no idea who the podcast
No,
was.
everyone.
The reason why I hate Jillian Michaels is actually very petty. When I worked at Blockbuster, there was a Wii game called The Biggest Loser, and her face was on it with the other blonde guy. I don't know his name, and she had the most smuggest fucking face. I'm like, look at this piece of shit. She thinks that she's just like this expert
That's the reason.
on fucking weight loss. Fuck off, lady. It was the look on her face.
All because
Google
of
that
her
Switch
face.
game.
All
Let me
because of
find the
Block-
cover. Let me find the cover. I remember it rubbed me the wrong way for years.
Didn't she had like workout videos first or something, right? Wasn't that how she got on The Biggest Loser?
Mike
I just
doesn't
remember
like
her
when,
like that.
Mike doesn't like when women rub him the wrong way.
True.
It is true. He does not.
Okay, I found it. Let me pull it up really quick.
Because he's a misogynist.
Yes.
because he's gay. That's
No, it's David.
See-
It is because I am a misogynist.
See what
It's
David's
because
mind goes?
Yeah,
See what
no.
David's
Okay.
mind goes?
This one right here.
where my
Look at,
mind goes.
look at how smug she is.
There's a
Like,
Wii
if-
game. I didn't know this.
If you don't lose weight, you're a fucking piece of shit and deserve to. Like, she's just judging you.
Oh my god! All right, Tucker Carlson about Hillary Clinton in 2016. All right, over here.
Real fun, real
Fox News
results.
2016.
Does it look like
commenting
you're
on
gonna have
Hillary
fun?
Clinton's campaign. All right, we get
And
it.
his neck is like photoshopped all fucked up. I don't know what it is. Looks like he could spin his
No.
head 360.
Yeah,
like, this case bugged me.
If anything, I'd be more bugged by him because that's definitely a weird Photoshop.
Actually-
like they photoshopped his
actually
face
think-
over someone else's body. Is
It's
what it looks
contorting
like.
in
Yeah.
a strange way.
I actually think she's looking good on that cover.
I think she
So,
looks fine. Yeah, if anything, I think, you know what? I had no interest in this game before, but now I may check it out. She looks pretty good to me.
Whatever
Yeah.
floats your boat.
Yes.
I'm selling
But,
people on her podcast now.
What's her podcast?
Inadvertently.
What's a podcast about? Did she talk about? She must still talk about like
She interviews Matt Walsh.
losing weight and stuff, right?
No,
Is
it's
it just
mostly
politics?
anti-woke. Yeah, I just
Really?
did a quick, yeah.
Okay, I don't know anything about it.
She's a right
I just-
winger. A
That's
bunch
not,
of these
but
people.
that isn't. But her avenue is like working out and stuff. Why would you not talk
Yeah,
about
but-
what you know?
Because you can say like, man, the left has gone so woke. You can't even say that it's good to lose weight. They'll say that nope, that's bad, or something like. There's a
Well,
million different ways you can tie it
but
to.
there is a lot of overlap with that stuff. Like that's why Alex Jones sells all those like enhancement pills and shit.
Mhm.
Like there's a huge overlap with that. Like if you were someone who like is working out because you are in a position where you're out of shape and your life is shitty and you're not getting women or men or whatever you're into, you're one of those people who are looking for a scapegoat most likely, and they provide you one while also selling you the magic pill to get back in shape. Like that's why there's so many. Like look at Andrew Tate. Like he's another great example of someone who's like a fitness guy. He was an MMA guy who decided to get involved into politics because there's an overlap there when you're doing right-wing media. I'm not saying all people who go to the gym and work out and are fitness people are like that, but if you see that niche customer base there, there's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an easy shift, I suppose. It's just how many podcasts, how much time do people have on the right to listen to all these podcasts? Like they can't just be listening to all of them, right? Like there's got to be, I guess there's different sects of like anti-woke people. Some of them are in the Andrew Tate section. Some of them are in the Jillian Michaels section. Some of them are in the, I don't know, the Crowder section. Like, it's just,
I mean,
are they just watching like one after another, just watching all
Well,
these
when
fucking
you're-
shows, saying the same shit over and over again all day?
Right. I mean, when your whole personality is based on grievance, you listen to you completely double down. Like, this is their life. Like, that's why they, like, if you, I don't know if you ever noticed, but I don't know, you have noticed, obviously. I was just using a turn of phrase, but this is why, like, oftentimes when you see like right-wing posters like trying to make jokes, they refer to such inside baseball things that you're like, what do you, but they're trying to do it for like a broader audience because they just assume everyone's in their same bubble. They just assume everyone knows exactly what they're referring to, exactly what they're talking about, because that's who their bubble does know that stuff. Their bubble listens to the same shows all the time and knows exactly what but like, that's why they always have such weird, like their comedy never works. Their jokes never hit because they're always referring to things that 99% of people have no fucking clue what they're talking about. You know, the left, I guess, like if you're a leftist, you have that too. Like, there are leftists obviously who watch this show and all the shows and everything. But the right is much more broad. Like, a lot of right wingers, like from like Republican, like die in the wool Republicans to like far right people, they live that way. Whereas, like, your everyday Democrat, they actually don't pay attention to politics all that much at all. Like, they're not like deep into the muck like your average Trump fan is. Like, someone who's voting for Kamala Harris is less likely to be like a hardcore Kamala Harris fan than someone who's voting for Trump is to be like a hardcore Trump fan.
You know what shocks me, David? I don't know if you've ever seen them. All those YouTube channels that are all just about, battling the woke and all that kind of stuff. All they do is just play a video game like Fortnite, and they're like 15 minutes long. And those channels get like 500,000 views on each video, where it's just someone playing Fortnite being like, the problem with video games today is just too many black people in them. I mean, DEI and Bridge. And
I haven't been able to bring myself to watch any of those videos because
they're huge. Like that, that seems the barrier of entry is way lower than
it reminds me so much of when I during Gamergate, which is when I left my old job at AMD working in video game marketing. That's when I was laid off the second time from the same place. I'm like, fuck this industry. Fuck, like, Gamergate was happening as I was like fuck everybody. Like, fuck. So there's like a gap in like my gaming knowledge because I had followed and covered gaming for like my entire life. And then from like, when was it, 2012 to like 2015, there's like a gap there where I just was not paying attention at all to gaming news or anything. Like, I was playing games, but I wasn't as into it as I was. And anytime I see these woke shit, it reminds me of like those Gamergate days where I fucking hate like the online gaming community. Like I'm reminded when I check the comment section sometimes, or when I see Twitter and see that shit, it's just like I'm actually like, there are times where I wish I didn't just cover politics because it can get really depressing. But then I'll look at the comment section on like a YouTube video about a video game and be like, oh my God, no, I don't want this. This is even worse. This is worse. Fuck that. I don't want this audience. So no. But it's so depressing to see the way that people have been able to monetize just being pieces of shit. Like, being like, oh my God, this game is not led by a white straight male. Oh my fucking, it's woke. Like, it's just, what's wrong with your brains? Thankfully, people that actually work in the industry are not like that, including like most journalists. They're not that broken.
The backlash is having an effect. There's major studios now that want to do focus groups specifically with like what they call core fans, and there are a lot of the ones who've been like really angry about DEI and wokeness and forced diversity and all that. And I was like, that doesn't speak to the majority of a fan base, though. Like, I know that those people seem really
it's a small vocal,
very vocal and very shared on algorithms, right? It's one of those things where like it's incendiary. It makes you click on it. You're like, oh yeah, I hate the Black Samurai too because this isn't real Japanese history. Here's a real guy from Japan speaking out against it. And
it's not most people, and it doesn't actually impact sales or anything. Like, they called Baldur's Gate 3 woke, and that game fucking sold amazing and did amazing. Like, the Silent Hill 2 is woke apparently too, and that game's going to do like
that one too.
It's getting reviewed well.
Didn't that come out before? It's a remake, right?
Yeah, the remake is woke. The remake is woke because because they made the I don't know, one of the characters I guess are like a little larger or something. I don't know. Like, I don't read enough into it to know.
I want to get ahead of that
Apparently
story.
will.
That character specifically, if you play the game, and maybe spoiler.
Don't no spoilers. I don't want to spoil the warning. Are you doing spoilers?
I won't spoil the ending, but like that character, they've gone through, and you learn this when you meet them in the very start of the game. They've gone through a lot of abuse. It's super fucked up to take that specific character and then try to like hypersexualize them and be like, she's not sexy enough, blah blah blah. Like when you learn her real story, it's dark, even by the standards of like, it goes way darker than anything you usually find in video games. That's one of the things why at the time it was shocking to learn how dark they went with that character story, and it's supremely fucked up to like hypersexualize that specific character. Yeah, but when you play, you'll see.
But they still will.
No, they already did. The pronouns guy is making videos about it.
Oh, okay. But it's too sexual, like the GTA 6 trailer, I believe, then they'll call for it to be banned. Like the evangelicals. I think Jackson Hickle was jumping on that bandwagon too. He's saying it was too sexual and needed to be banned. It's just very... I'm just so sick of it. I hate that.
You all want, I don't understand it. Is it too sexy or not sexy enough? Do we need more booby and titty skin or less booby and titty skin? More ass, less ass? Like I can't look at your minds. Like what? All you weird horny gooners, grumses. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's really annoying. I hate that there's this incentive to shit out low effort rage bait content, and it does so well. People eat that shit up. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's so ridiculous.
I actually find, like, thank God I've cultivated an audience where if I do a video that's like really sad and negative, it usually does terrible. Like,
yeah,
people, which unfortunately is actually unfortunate when covering politics. But people want to be, at least in my eyes, that they want to feel some hope and they want to see that things can get better and you know good things can happen. But yeah, rage bait generally does very well. I don't get it because I have no interest at all in rage bait. Why do I want to be why do I like want to be angry? Like why do I want to watch something where I'm going to get angry or like where you're going to? This is why Twitter. Oh my God, it has done a number. Like I cannot sit on Twitter the way I used to because it is so fucking depressing. Like the shit that gets viral and the replies and everybody. I don't even like look at replies anymore. And I feel bad sometimes because I'm sure there are people that are good there, but I don't want to engage with anything.
Anyone who's on Twitter is a bad person, including us. So just don't look at the replies.
I feel like if you're not in the news gathering business, then why bother? Then occasionally though there will be a tweet though where I'm like, this is why I'm on Twitter. Like today I saw somebody they put together the old Linkin Park video mixed like. They cut it like those old music videos were cut to movies. You know how there are certain videos or certain songs that were from a movie, and the music video would cut footage from the movie into the video. So somebody was like, because that movie Megapolis or whatever the fuck it's called, like it looks like a Linkin Park video from 2001. So somebody intercut the Linkin Park video from like 25 years ago with that movie, and it goes together so well. Like it's one of those old music videos based on a movie. So I'm like, this is why I'm on Twitter, because random shit like this I would not have seen otherwise. But the moments like that are so far and few between compared to how it used to be. There used to be a lot of Twitter, which is like fun, random, funny shit, and now it's hard to find that stuff.
I will say there are some funny ass LGBTQ accounts. There's some good trans accounts, and then there's a gay account that's really big that posts really edgy shit that mostly just gay people understand. And then when straight people ask about it, they'll post like the responses of gay people gaslighting the straight people. I forgot the name of the account, so I can't share it, but just funny shit that's very edgy and stuff and inappropriate, but is now acceptable because it's on Twitter, so they can use slurs as much as they want and just say what they want.
Anthony,
you can't say cis. That's it.
Yeah, you can't say cis.
Oh my God. Anthony Owens in the chat says Threads is a viable option. This is the issue with Threads. There's no community notes. So there is so much fake shit on Threads that goes viral. Or people that are like, their accounts that make up a story, and then you read through the thread, and it's like the second or third tweet or thread, whatever the fuck it is, has like a link that's like a spam link, and the whole story's fake. So there are like there are so many accounts like that are trying to spam out these links that otherwise would not go viral, or if they did, there'd be a community note on it. But Threads doesn't have that, so there's so much just like bait on Threads that it makes it so unusable, and the algorithm is terrible there. Like the stuff that gets fed into that gets put into my feed is a lot of that trash, and it's just because it's popular, but there's no value to any of it, and it's actual spam accounts that are going viral on there. Like Threads needs a lot of work. It could be good. It could be a good replacement, but it's not quite there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I was going to
it's,
say
you
that
know,
that account that I was referring to is called Propaganda91. That's the handle on Twitter. If you guys want to follow it, it's very, very edgy, not for the faint of heart, very risque as well, but it's funny. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, at this point, like, because you know, I saw a few people ask me why I went on why I started my newsletter on Substack, due to, you know, Substack has its issues as well. But I mean, we're at the, and I am gonna, what?
You mean because it's like funded by Peter Thiel?
Is it really?
They had this whole thing where they were you know, supporting like anti-trans and like anti-vaxxer like Substack writers and stuff, and they wouldn't remove the stuff, and then they were straight up like neo-Nazis writing on there, and they stood by them at first, and then after a bunch of blowback, they decide to actually remove some of the more like over the top ones and say, okay, this is actually, you know, we're against, this is too much. But you know, they have the whole free speech thing there, like that whole, like, you know, no content moderation in the name of free speech, even if it's something that, like, you know, goes, you know, that's harmful to people. But I mean, I originally started a Substack newsletter under a different name, like in 2020, like during the height of the pandemic, and I had a few posts on there. And then some of this stuff started to happen, and I stopped posting on there. Not many people followed that, honestly. Like, yeah, some of the more popular writers were able to just take their audience to like go, like they like just self-hosted their own newsletter on their own like server using Ghost, which is like a WordPress type platform for newsletters. And you know, because they had that built-in fan base, they didn't lose any money, and they were able to start their own thing without Substack. But a lot of people didn't leave, and all I got out of it was I didn't have a newsletter and didn't build up a mailing list. Eventually they stopped paying people directly, which to me was a big issue. Like, they stopped being a publisher because they made like private deals with like individual writers to pay them to do their Substacks. But now they're just like a platform, like any other platform. And like, I don't see the difference between like a platform like Substack, for example, and like YouTube. YouTube pays Steven Crowder and Tim Pool millions of dollars a year.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Why don't people say stop? Why don't people stop using YouTube? Is it because like
company either like
right? And there's great Substacks, like Zateo is on Substack. Drop Site News by Ryan Grimm is on Substack. So it's a really easy way to start a news business, which is why I relaunched my Substack, because I was thinking about transferring my website to Substack, because why am I paying for this web service from GoDaddy when it's easier to just have a Substack and it looks more clean? So that's what I was thinking about myself.
If I was starting any other sort of website on any other topic, I'd probably look around and consider a different platform. But for a news or politics newsletter, Substack has a built-in audience as a platform for that like you just can't replicate anywhere else. I looked at I've been looking for years been waiting for that replacement to come, and it never did. There's other newsletter platforms, but none that replicate Substack's like ability to have that built-in audience. Like, there are plenty of like newsletter platforms like MailChimp, ConvertKit, Beehive. I looked into all these, but they're just like, they send a newsletter out to your fans. They don't like replicate like a website where people can also go and read that newsletter if they don't get the email. They don't replicate like the sharing and social aspects that Substack has for those audiences. on their site. And again, like, what's the difference between, like, I come back to, like, what's the difference between Substack and YouTube? Nothing. I'm sure people will say, well, Substack's, owners support that type of stuff, while YouTube just lets that stuff happen. I think that is a differentiator that means nothing. I don't care, like, what's in, like, YouTube, like, executives' heart. Like, they don't support that content. They just need to have it on there because it doesn't break its policies. I don't give a shit. I don't care. They're still paying these guys millions of dollars. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I agree with that, honestly. Yeah. I did want to ask you all if you heard about the ad in Florida that's being censored. Have any of you heard about this? It's kind of crazy.
Oh, yes. That's a yes.
Yeah, I have the article pulled up. A lot of people haven't seen this yet, but this, I think, once and for all, should close the case on whether or not the right supports free speech. So, Florida threatens to criminally charge TV stations airing abortion rights ad. I have the ad pulled up. I'll show you all in a minute, but let me just read a couple of paragraphs here. So at least 2 stations received cease and desist letters Thursday written by John Wilson, general counsel from the Florida Department of Health, demanding they pull the advertisement. Management for WCJB in Gainesville and WFLA in Tampa were not immediately available for comment Wednesday. Now, for those who don't know, there is an abortion initiative on the ballot in Florida. It needs 60% to pass. And there was an ad from a pro-choice group that the government of Florida is threatening to sue if they don't pull down this ad. Wilson wrote that running the 30-second ad spot was a violation of Florida's sanitary nuisance law, so that's the bullshit excuse, which is commonly used to charge people with overflowing septic tanks or unclean slaughterhouses. He ordered the stations to remove the ads within 24 hours or open themselves up to a second-degree misdemeanor charge, which in Florida carries a sentence of imprisonment up to 60 days and a fine of $500. So Florida has devolved into a mini authoritarian regime. These are this is the kind of stuff that they do in authoritarian countries where, like, for example, homosexuality won't be illegal, but they'll still charge people who they catch being homosexuals and charge them under anti-debauchery clauses. So they're finding some random law to charge them with to shut down their free speech. Let me pull up the ad now, because the ad itself is no different than any pro-choice ad at all, but it's a powerful ad, which is understandable why they don't want it to get seen. But just watch the ad and then you can understand how serious this is.
When I saw the tumor on the MRI, my first thought was, am I going to be able to see my daughter again? The doctors knew if I did not end my pregnancy, I would lose my baby, I would lose my life, and my daughter would lose her mom. Florida has now banned abortion, even in cases like mine. Amendment 4 is going to protect women like me. We have to vote yes.
And that's the ad.
That's it. I was expecting like there to be like some kind of like visual that was like gross or something.
Yeah,
like
that was
like
going over the line or
right
there. That was just an experience
pretty
that
standard.
She had.
And the reason why they're saying it violates the the sanitation clause or whatever is because it's misinformation. Because in Florida they do have exceptions. So this ad is giving women this false idea that they have to travel out of state to get abortion health care when they already have exceptions, and that could endanger their lives. So they care about the women. But putting aside the obvious disingenuous bullshit, the FCC even had to come out, Jessica Rosenworth, so this is Biden's FCC chair, the commissioner, and said, this is straight up a free speech issue. You can't do this. So whether or not this stands, I'm not really sure, but the problem is that, can this be adjudicated before the election? And they're trying to literally censor speech that they don't like. This is the most cut and dry free speech issue that we've seen since anti-BDS laws. And nobody's really even aware that it's happening because there's so much shit going on, but it's genuinely alarming to see this.
It's true. This election's built different. There's so many stories.
It is. It is. And this is straight out of the Hungarian fascist playbook. Ron DeSantis has been copying Viktor Orban, and a lot of people thought that he was a worse version of Donald Trump, but he's actually an iteration of Viktor Orban. He's his own American Orbanism, his own type of fascist, which is, I think, a lot more nefarious. But he's not even trying to pretend as if he cares about freedom of speech. He is actually censoring ads that he doesn't want to be played, which is, it should scare everybody, but we're all still pretending, and not us, but as a country, we're pretending as if Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they're the true warriors of free speech. And it's so infuriating because all the big free speech people, Dave Rubin, Tim Pool, not a peep about this. It's crazy.
Or Ken Klippenstein. Yeah, no one talks about Ken Klippenstein. It's just like, that's just the thing that
Thanos
happened.
snapped out of existence on Twitter, and
No, the way you said it is funny. No one talks about Ken.
No one talks about him.
And also for a second, I know what Mike's talking about, but if you don't know what's going on, like what's up with like Hungary, it does sound like someone's like pulling something right out of their ass, saying like, yeah, right out of the Hungarian playbook.
well, that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up because it does require clarification, because I want to explain what the Hungarian playbook is. So it started with LGBTQ people. He went after queer people. There was an anti-gay propaganda law similar to the law that we see in Russia, although Russia's is much more comprehensive as far as I know. But that's what he started to do. He started to go after the media by talking about LGBTQ propaganda. That's exactly what Ron DeSantis tried to do, albeit at a different level. He did the Don't Say Gay law in schools. And then from there, Viktor Orban began to consolidate power in other ways. He made the media afraid. He made people who were critical of him afraid. And that's exactly what Ron DeSantis is doing. That's not a very nuanced thing. It's just surface level. But if you look up, there's an article, I think somebody, either the Washington Post or the Atlantic, wrote about how Ron DeSantis is an extension of Orbanism, where he's not like Trump. He's his own version of Viktor Orban. I talked about the article in my program a long time ago. If you want to look that up, it's really enlightening and also horrifying. But yeah, it's not good. The fact that Republicans are now threatening censorship willy-nilly, not that they weren't already pro-censorship, but the way that they're just so flippantly doing it. And it's not surprising because Donald Trump is talking about deporting anti-Israel protesters. He's also talking about throwing people in jail if they burn the flag, which is our right. I mean, even Justice Scalia said we can do that because it's quite literally free speech. So the fact that it's come so far, and he's brazenly doing this, even though it's a bad look before an election, he doesn't give a shit.
Free speech.
Free speech. Yep.
Wow.
The classic Hungarian playbook.
Classic Hungarian playbook. We all know it well.
If we're doing super chats, you mind if I just read 3 quick, because I have to go to pick up a friend at the airport. So
oh, that's right. Yes.
Oh yeah.
It is apparently 7 o'clock or something.
Yes.
In
That's
your
crazy.
land.
I can't
faraway
believe
land.
I can't believe you West Coast folks do this show so early. Like, I'm like,
Sounds amazing. It sounds like a dream,
yeah.
actually.
this is like a super late thing for me.
Well, I guess that's better if you have kids, right?
Even
'Cause if your
more.
kids go to bed and-
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do. We wouldn't. I
Actually,
wouldn't
yeah,
be on the
no,
show
it
if
wouldn't, I couldn't do it that early. No.
Yeah. You
I wish
guys,
we
when
just-
we go live, it's like 5 o'clock for you guys, right?
Yeah, that's
5:30.
5:30.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
I would like
big
to
thank
be
you
on
to
the
Tokyo-
EST. So I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you to Tokyo Hands for joining for 8 months. Nothing good has come out since Tetris. Thank you to Monk Without a Cause for the $20. I sent you one of these ages ago to say you're all awesome. I finally left TYT, so you're all even more awesome. Thank you.
You're
Do
here.
you want to comment on trauma or no? Daniel R, thank you for the $2. Did Kenny Roger Roasters move across the street? And Looney Tunes 9000, thank you for the $4.99. Florida needs to back the fuck off. Of
The
censoring
Kenny
speech.
Rogers roast. Do you get that reference, Lance?
No, I don't.
Oh my god. There's a Seinfeld episode where Kenny Rogers opens up across the street from Kramer's apartment, and his apartment's just turns all red, like from the big sign outside.
Okay, yeah.
So it drives him crazy, and then he switches apartments with Jerry. Then Jerry goes crazy.
It's for Halloween, so I got a pumpkin.
That's a really good reference. I appreciate that reference.
It's Halloween colors, but yeah. All right, there you go. Everyone in the chat was like, "Are you doing Dark MAGA? Is this Dark MAGA?" And I was like, "No." And then Looney Tunes 9000, thank you for the $4.99. Florida needs to back the fuck off censoring speech on TV stations. This is not the 1950s, for fuck's sake. It's 2024.
Yeah. That person said that they left TYT. What's wrong with TYT? Last I checked, they were homo progressives. What did I miss?
I'm not engaging.
I'm gonna
I'm just kidding. Some people wanted us to talk about it, but you already know what we think.
Yeah. Oh, this isn't a super chat, but this is a really funny comment. Someone was upset that I didn't, name my Substack Substack thick like a goblin.
Oh my god,
that's really funny.
Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity for sure. But again, just like I talked about earlier about how right wingers just throw out inside jokes thinking the general public will understand it. Nobody would understand why I named my Substack.
I think only a small fraction of people watching understood that reference.
Yeah, but Matt, you've talked about the thick like a goblin. Have you heard about the tall goblin?
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Goblin these nuts. Gotcha.
Okay. Sure, you got me, Mike.
I gotta go.
You got owned, bitch. No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I did get owned.
Was Lance so offended he left? No, it's because he had to pick his friend.
as soon as I like went close to the camera, it zoomed in on my face, and it absolutely
I had to change that.
Appalled me.
Rolando. Who's this?
Rolando Capalleja, thank you so much for becoming a member.
Charlie.
Oh, this is for me. Charlie the Ginnemer with a membership super chat, member for 15 months. Excellent work. We made the right think that government are the ones using our weather machine. Mwahahaha. Seriously, be safe out there.
Big Mac with $20. My goodness, that is so kind. Thank you so much, Big Mac. Question for Lance, Matt, and David. Oh, I see. So you're going to send me the super chat and not ask me the question. I see. Okay. What do you guys think about Michael Moore predicting that Harris is going to win in a landslide despite what the polls say? Okay, I see why, because I did a video on this. I'm curious to know what you all think.
I think as of right now, I don't know about a landslide, but as of right now, I think she will win. Things are not trending in her direction right now, though.
Mm-hmm.
They either gotta turn that around, because ask me this question in a week or two, and you might have a different answer.
Yeah. I think so far she's gonna win. Landslide, I don't know about landslide. Like, also, like, what defines a landslide? Like, how many electoral
50 state sweep, baby.
He in his Substack piece, he said 55% to 43%. That's what his gut is telling him. Around
in terms
those
of
types of
voter
numbers.
percentage, or in terms of the
popular
the
vote
electoral
percentage.
college?
Popular vote, as far as I know.
Translate. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't even think of the popular vote because I don't give a shit about the popular
I don't think
vote.
so.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
She's going to win the popular vote. I don't think that's the question, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say that if I had to guess, I would say that Trump is going to win. But
really,
the Michael Moore piece made me feel a lot better because he has a very good track record. He predicted Donald Trump winning in 2016. And what makes me feel better is that I am predicting, or I suspect, that Trump will win, because usually whatever I say or feel is going to happen, the opposite happens. So I take solace thinking that Trump is going to win, because it means maybe the opposite is going to happen.
You take solace in the fact that you think that you're usually wrong. So.
I'm reverse engineering my own gut feeling against me.
What does he think about? So what does he think about Michigan? Since he's in Michigan, right?
His argument,
Michael Moore is Mr. Michigan, right?
Yeah. So what's his thought on that?
Yeah. So he has some caveats. He's worried about Harris running too far to the right, and he's worried about Biden's genocide. But what he thinks is going to put Harris over the edge is an influx of female voters over Roe v. Wade. He thinks that's really going to galvanize women.
Okay.
And he, like, based on who he's talked to and just the general sense that he's getting in Michigan, he believes that women are going to turn out in massive, massive numbers.
I mean, I think that's certainly going to be the case. The question is, will that even out? Will those numbers be spread across into the states that she needs to win? And
exactly,
yeah.
If the situation wasn't what it was with Israel and Palestine, and Michigan wasn't in play, and Wisconsin, she's slipping out of her hands too right
That
now.
one's really perplexing.
I mean, and Pennsylvania seems like it's fine. She's
she's
doing
growing in
fine there.
support there. Yet all the people were like, "Oh, she got to pick Shapiro because of Pennsylvania," and oh, she's doing
Right.
fine there regardless.
Which those people were
I
also
mean-
Biden dead enders, so they were basically wrong about everything.
I mean, I don't think I know people are. I've seen like Nevada's in play. That's not in play. No, she's not going to lose Nevada. Will she win Arizona again? Will she win Georgia again? Will she pick up North Carolina? I don't know.
Abortion's on the ballot in Arizona.
If she doesn't get Arizona after all this ass kissing of fucking Republicans, like Jesus Christ, like that's
Yeah.
the one state where I could see that working somewhat. But like, if you
Yeah.
lose that state after doing all this fucking right wing turn,
Ooh.
like,
Wanda in the chat is saying she's going to win North Carolina. Ooh. Wanda. I trust Wanda's.
I trust Wanda too.
is
yeah,
Wanda in North Carolina?
I think Wanda's in Virginia, right, Wanda? So that's close enough for me.
Wanda does a lot of get out the vote stuff though, so I feel like she has a really good read on things.
All right.
Yes.
Hopefully.
But I don't know though. I don't know. I mean, if she wins North Carolina and Georgia and Arizona and Nevada, if she holds on to everything but adds North Carolina, if she holds on to everything that Biden won except for Michigan and Wisconsin, but she grabs North Carolina, is that enough to put her over?
If she takes Pennsylvania too, yes.
Yeah, I said everything Biden had except for Wisconsin and Michigan, but she adds
Okay.
North Carolina.
I believe yes. I'd have to look though, but I think it would put her over if she holds on to Georgia too. So yeah, I think so. I will say I was saying earlier that in Arizona there is an abortion ballot initiative, and Gallego is 10 plus points ahead of Kerry Lake. So it's hard to imagine that many ticket splitters, right?
I mean, that's the case in almost every one of these states, though.
Right.
Democrats are
It's
doing
very
great in
bizarre.
all these states. It's in the Senate.
Mm-hmm. And these are not great Democrats. There's Alyssa Slotkin, there's Ruben Gallego, all crushing their GOP opponents. They're not great. So it's hard to imagine people turning out for them, but not Harris. I don't know. I don't know what makes American voters tick anymore, genuinely. I have no idea. We'll find out soon, though.
Kowalski, thank you for your super chat. Says had an interesting conversation with a Trump supporter. Seems to believe that climate change isn't real because isn't real clear. I'm guessing because they can control weather. Trying to get a clarification on who they are. Yeah, that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene said.
Yeah,
Democrats, I guess. I don't know. Probably.
It's true. I can control the weather. I'm
Maybe
a
it's
weather
us.
controller.
Law Gnomes, thank you for your super chat. Says Mafia curling tournament when?
I would love to. I would love to do curling. I think curling
seems
is
super.
My hair
I feel
isn't
like I'm
long
not a true
enough,
Canadian.
though.
I've never played. I've never played curling. So
You've never played curling as a Canadian?
no, you need like
Isn't
special
curling-
shoes and shit because you got to have like one shoe that grips.
But isn't curling like all over the place, Dave? Don't you have like curling spots all over the place? Curling. Just
I wouldn't say
up
all
your
over
shoes?
the place. They
Just do it in your
exist.
bathroom.
I've been
just
to
have to have a
one
curling
to
iron.
see other people curl, but I've not curled
'Cause
myself.
we don't have the only place I think you could do actual curling in the States is Minnesota. There's no curling place in New York City. There's a
No.
curling league in Brooklyn. I looked into it. They like just go to like some ice hockey rink or something and
Oh, they just
play
set it up there.
there. Yeah.
My sister used to curl her hair all the time. You could do it anywhere. You don't have to join a league. You just have to have long enough hair. I couldn't do it because my hair is too short to curl.
What?
Mike,
Are you talking about?
Mike.
I'm like, what? I'm like, wait, do curlers have long hair? Oh no, you're just talking about curling your hair.
I said it once, then you all didn't
How,
hear,
you
so
know
I had
what?
to keep
That is
going.
a dad joke. Yeah, you
It is,
said it,
it
but
is.
I didn't understand what you were saying. I thought
It's-
I was like, I was thinking, is there a movie about curling where they all have long hair? Like, what is he talking about?
If you don't have a curling iron to play curling, you have to sit there and kind of just like curl your hair. And
Oh my god.
that's what you all were talking
Mike thinks
about.
Are you sure you don't have any
so
children?
funny.
Because that is a dad joke. That
I'm
is
just in one of
100%
those
dad
moods,
joke.
yeah, where I just say stupid things. I'm sorry. Disregard
Mike thinks he's so funny.
Who's got Bay photo?
I think this is Matt.
This is for me. Bay Photo with a super chat. Thank you, Bay Photo. My city just lost our baseball team, the Oakland A's, after 57 seasons, but I'm happy for your Mets. Soak up all the memories, Matt. Well, we're not losing the Mets. I mean, the Mets are here to stay. But I do know that you guys lost your baseball team. Very, very sad. Didn't you guys lose all your teams? The Raiders left, right? Oakland Raiders. And then there was another team that left. Oakland has no more teams after having like 3 major league teams, right?
What happened there?
I
Sounds depressing.
don't know. I don't know.
Kowalski, thank you so much for the $9.99. Appreciate that. You know, the woke Democrats nuking the moon to control the weather still doesn't explain why I can see the aurora borealis over central Nebraska tonight.
Should be
an
aurora
ambient
borealis.
red glow. Okay, I was like borealis.
The aurora borealis.
I'll rock with it.
just
like you all
to
rock
aurora
with
borealis.
curling. An ambient red glow to the north is cool though. Yeah, interesting.
The aurora borealis is quite something.
That'd be amazing to see. I've never seen that. I would love to.
Rachel Atwood with a super chat. I'm getting weird flashbacks to Hurricane Sandy. In terms of what? Like politically or like just seeing a hurricane in general? I'm not sure. I'm assuming you're talking politically because otherwise you could just say that for any hurricane. I'm getting weird flashbacks to Hurricane Sandy. Rachel Atwood with another super chat. Fingers crossed. I'm headed to Scranton for Get Out the Vote. Yeah, I don't think they need you in Scranton. I think PA is locked. Maybe if you're someone who's getting out the vote, I'm not saying you need to do this, Rachel. You know, you've already set this up for yourself. But I'm saying if you're someone looking to get out the vote and haven't made plans yet, they probably need you elsewhere right now.
Oh, it's pronounced balloon.
Watch, I'm saying that. Watch, I'm saying that, and it's going to come down to breaking news. Kamala Harris loses PA on November 5th, whenever it is, and someone's going to find out that it was because I told people to stop going down there. It came down to like a vote or two.
No, I think it's still good to double down on efforts in Pennsylvania. Definitely. Thank you so much, Fritza Jacques. Appreciate the YouTube membership. Zia Spots with $10. Appreciate that, Zia. I live not too far from Asheville, North Carolina, and it's weird seeing places I recognize been to so different. We always thought we were safe, but climate change doesn't judge. This will take years to fix. Yeah, some of the footage from North Carolina was so heartbreaking. There was this video that I watched, I think it was CNN, where they were just interviewing people who lost everything, and it made me tear up. It's just, how do you even begin to start again? There's so much damage. I think that the estimate that I saw was that the total damage from both hurricanes was around 160 billion, which is so much fucking money. But I mean, if you're somebody who lost everything, what do you do? You know, that it's heartbreaking, honestly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tyler, member for 21 months. Tabula Rosa, thank you for the member chat. Mike, did modding my name lose my mod, or did I do something to deserve demotion? Send me an email, Tabula. Send me an email, mike@humanistreport.com. I could not remember your email to get a hold of you, but send me an email.
Oh, Mike told me. He messaged me. I'm surprised he's being coy about it now, but he messaged me saying, I'm taking away the mod chip from that motherfucker Tabula Rasa. And then I'm playing stupid when he asks me.
Marlon Brimmer, thank you, says, this is for me, right? Yeah. Are y'all not going to speak on Anna and her Substack? I honestly haven't read it because I don't care.
Didn't we speak on it though? We were talking about it earlier.
I think I know of it because people talk about it, but I saw a screenshot of like the headline and like one of the first couple lines or whatever, and it's like, all right, yeah, this is dumb.
It really does come down to, it seems like from reading it really does come down to seem like she had that horrendous experience where
that too,
she was assaulted. And you know, there's nothing that obviously excuses that. That person should have been, whether that person was caught or not, it's unclear to me, but it seems like maybe they weren't. But that person should be arrested and jailed or face some sort of punishment.
She
There's
mentioned
no
that
doubt
people
about
on the
it.
left were making fun of her or dissuading her from talking about that, which I don't know. I don't know the examples in particular, but if that was the case, I denounce those people. I think you absolutely should share that. It's a horrifying experience. I absolutely empathize with her there. That's terrible.
But that experience, I don't see how it corresponds to politics. Not everything that's bad out there that happens is because of some sort of policy or something. There will always be crime. There will always be people who do bad things. I've been saying nonstop that New York is safer than it's ever been, and it continues to get safer and safer every single day, month, week, year. New York City has never been safer than it is today, and it'll continue. I can say that tomorrow and a year from now. If something was to happen to me, if I was to get robbed, mugged, assaulted, whatever, my opinion on New York City never being safer would not change one bit, because that is just one instance of something happening, and that will always happen. There will always be someone who does something wrong like that. But that doesn't fit into the that doesn't take over the calculation, the raw numbers, the data, that the city is still safe. And I think like that experience has really like made her like sort of lash out against, democratic policies that say that, someone shouldn't be locked up for life for committing some sort of crime. I don't quite. It seems to that really does seem to be the spark that was lit for her, but I'm not.
It was also birthing person. She brought that up. She said that the left was unhinged. It's just grievance politics at this point. I mean, you can't let somebody on the left who was mean to you, in your opinion. We were all polite, not to relitigate this, but just because somebody on the left was mean to you doesn't mean you should switch to the right. Lefties are mean to each other all the time. We all hate each other. That doesn't mean that we're going to become conservatives.
Yeah. There's a great tweet out there where it's like, oh God, I'm going to butcher it, but something to the effect of, lefties are annoyed by leftists every single day. If you change your politics over that, then you're just like a piece of shit. Like, that shouldn't change your every single. I'm not even like seriously. Every single day, there's a tweet I see from someone who calls himself on the left or herself, and it's like a stupid tweet. I disagree, but I'm not going to spend. They have no power. Why am I going to spend my time criticizing people that have no fucking power? Should they have some dumbass opinion? Are they running Are they running shit? No, not even close. Like, why am I going to focus any time, any effort at all, any energy criticizing people that have no power? Like, it's bizarre.
I was just arguing with lefties who agree with me, who I'm friends with, on Twitter last week. I have absolutely no inclination whatsoever to become a right-winger. I've had traumatic experiences growing up with, like, crime, for example, where, growing up in North Portland, I had a gun pulled on me as a kid. I had, my street had a drive-by shooting, and there were bullet holes in our porch, and our neighbors, like, there were in my neighbor's bunk bed, it was like 10 inches away from her body, the bullet. So, like, I didn't grow up to become a right winger because of these experiences. You have to understand that, like, there are causes for this, and I'm not trying to minimize Anna's traumatic situation because it's different, right? But I'm just saying that you can't look at the macro or the micro and think that this is what the macro represents. You have to craft your politics as a leftist on statistics and broad data, because if you just think that, for example, oh, well, now I think all trans people are bad because this one trans lady was super mean to me, then you're just going to become a right-wing reactionary because you're going to have a bad experience with everybody. Like, you can't base your politics off that. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've seen this before.
People who become right-wing because they get annoyed by leftists are weak-willed. Most leftists are annoyed by leftists every single day. This is just a fact. Like, I don't know. I don't get how people can transform their politics based on, something someone said. Like,
seriously,
it's weird.
All right. Well, speaking of Substack, though, disruptionist.com. Check out my new Substack.
So, are you still at Mashable? How do you...
Yeah. No, I'm not. Like, I'm not.
How do you like just maybe this is too personal a question, but like how do you figure out like what stories that you do for them versus what you do for yourself? Like how does that all work
Oh,
out?
right. Well, if it's something that would fit on Mashable, I write it for there first and foremost, no doubt about it. But also, like, if I find something on the weekend that I'm not working, I need to publish it. I can't get scooped. That's for sure. But no,
Yeah.
like anything like tech related, like straight up tech related that I would usually cover for Mashable is still going to be in Mashable. Like any news about Twitter or X, the platform, like that you would find in like a tech website, is going to continue to be on Mashable. My newsletter will be for like, opinion and analysis and original reporting that wouldn't fit in Mashable, like the more politically related stuff.
Interesting. Good. I hope it grows. It's a lot of people have made, proper livings off of that.
I'm not even asking for money yet. I'm just trying to grow the mailing list.
Oh, you should 100% ask for money. Wait, are you sure you're not asking for money? I went to sign up with my email. It's like,
no,
do you want to give $80 a year? Do you want to give?
Oh, you can there's an
that's just
option
like
where
you can choose to.
You could no, not even. You can't give me money at all on Substack right now. That option is that you can tell that Substack creator that if they decided to take paid subscriptions, you're already willing to give them this money because you enjoy their content so much. Like, I guess it's like to try to convince people who just have free newsletters to turn on the paid like subscriber option. I am going to turn that on, and probably sooner rather than later, but I wanted to sort of build a couple thousand subscribers first.
That makes sense. Kowalski.
I think this is Matt.
It is Kowalski. Hurricanes devastating the south, ice capes melting to the north, the mountains are burning to the west, and the Mets are winning in the east. Truly the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Yeah.
Damitin, thank you for your super chat. Says Karen Kasparian is a reactionary now. Enough said. I don't think all her politics have changed, but on certain issues it has. Yeah, it's a little depressing. Like, me and Anna were friendly. She was very nice to me. We would talk occasionally, through like DMs, and it's been bizarre to see the turn, or it's more like the focus. It's just like there's a unneeded focus on leftists that annoy her that I don't really understand why there's even a need to discuss it.
Yeah. Rolando Caballera, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. As a Florida resident of 30 years, it is discouraging seeing the rightward shift the state has taken over time. The only hope is passage of Amendment 3, legal marijuana, and 4, reproductive rights. Yeah, I'm really pulling for you all there. From my understanding, all of these ballot initiatives require 60%, right? So I'm really hoping that there's a big turnout, because 60%, even though it's an issue like abortion and marijuana legalization, it's tough to get 60%. For the other reproductive ballot initiatives, if I'm remembering correctly, even though they passed in really deep red states, none of them got more than 60%. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But it's going to be tough. But I'm really holding out hope that you all can pull that off, because if you can, that would be phenomenal. 6 weeks is the limit in Florida for abortions, which is effectively a total ban, because you don't even know if it's a missed period. Yeah. That's completely unreasonable. So I'm really, really hoping that you all can get this done.
John Lithium with a $20 super chat. You should be rolling in the money by now. Why, thank you, John. I appreciate it. I would have used the term rolling, but I certainly appreciate the $20. That's certainly money that I will have in my pocket.
For me, Law Gnomes, thank you for your super chat. Says, how dark would your soul be to hold revelations like Trump sending Putin the rapid COVID testing machines for a book instead of breaking news? Yeah, I don't, on that issue. So I haven't read too much into this. I'm trying to understand what's the issue with
it's Bob
is
Woodward's
it sending it to
book.
Putin's like personal? No, but what's the issue with
Oh,
sending
with Trump,
COVID
he
machines?
sent COVID tests to Russia when the United States had a shortage, and he did it covertly. And they were telling each other, "Okay, don't tell anybody. All right, don't tell anybody. We don't want to get blamed." So America first, basically. It's one of the many
Yeah, it's not like
revelations.
it's not like he sent them the COVID tests like last week. Like this was in the height of the
Right.
the pandemic.
Which I think that even sharing that type of stuff, PPE, with your adversaries during a pandemic, I think that's fine.
Yeah,
Obviously.
that's what I initially thought. But was there like
Right.
an influx of them? Like, but there was a shortage. It's a different situation.
Right.
Yeah.
You're sending away tests that were extremely scarce
Yeah.
during the beginning of the pandemic, and we had no testing. That was one of the biggest issues at the start of it. But yet you're sending it to a different country. I don't care what country it is, but it's even more insulting that you're sending it to a foreign adversary. That's a problem.
Yeah.
We need them here at home. Send them if we have extra, of course. Help other countries, especially developing countries, but maybe save some when we're dealing with a crisis and we have a population that is not going to take any precautions whatsoever. You know, just a thought. There are other revelations in that book that irritated me. Joe Biden, for example, thinks that Bibi Netanyahu is a fucking liar and he's full of shit, but yet supported him at every step of the way. Biden also thinks that Obama is responsible for the Ukraine invasion because back in 2014, when Russia invaded Crimea, he just let Putin get away with it. So I'm not sure what Biden expected, but that's part of the revelations. But to Lon Gnome's point, I do find it kind of shitty that Woodward waits for the optimal time to release these stories rather than just releasing them to the public. This is information that I think we all need to know. And I don't know if he found out about the COVID tests before the last election, but that would have been something that we needed to know. But was he
That'd be
sitting
more
on that for the
applicable back
book?
then.
It just feels really duplicitous, the shit that Bob Woodward does. And so I always encourage people, don't support him and buy his shit, but read the articles where it talks about the revelations, because they are important, but I don't want to support that behavior. It's fucked up. Listen, we all need to make money and try to monetize our work somehow, but you can still make money off of your shit if you release it at a time when it's not optimal. Just stop being a cunt, Bob. Like, can you try to do that? Release it when you get it.
He is watching.
Start a
people trying this
Substack.
time. Yeah.
Substack probably doesn't pay as much as a book deal for
That's
someone
true.
like Bob Woodward, at least.
That's true.
Wanda.
Oh, Wanda, thank you so much for the super sticker, the $10 super sticker. It's a leaping person going yippee.
Love it.
Tomas Mundo, thank you for your super sticker. It is some trees with, I think it looks like snow or stars. Very nice. It's a very nice image.
The critical plug with an $8 super chat. Love the $8. What a random number. Love it. Hey Matt, have you had a chance to watch the Vince McMahon documentary? It's really interesting. If so, what are your thoughts on it? I have not yet had a chance to watch it, but I did discuss it on my show last night in terms of like from what the reviews I've read, from what it appears like what happened with it is like, it seems like it was supposed to be like a documentary that was supposed to be like a promotional vehicle for Monday Night Raw coming to Netflix in January. WWE's Monday night show, like their biggest show every week, is going to be live on Netflix starting in January. And it feels like this documentary was supposed to be a promotional thing for that first, like a more light, like they were still going to cover some of the, the bad stuff with Vince McMahon, but it was going to be like mostly a promotional thing. But then all the scandals and allegations dropped, and the lawsuit and the federal investigation of Vince McMahon. He left the company. And so obviously they had to, rearrange things and actually cover this stuff. And it became a more legitimate type of documentary. And it seems like, the first couple of episodes and the last couple of episodes are like real hard hitting stuff. And then like the middle episodes are sort of like still what it probably would have looked like if Vince was still there. But that's my opinion on that so far.
Next one from Sean from me. Thank you for the member super chat. Really appreciate it. From Software is woke. They have powerful women as characters. How dare they? Yeah. They also have a lot of side stories where it's basically a trans allegory. So it's widely seen by players as a trans game. So that was for David.
Oh, I think it's for me. New member, Thomas, thank you so much for becoming a new member.
Hansi with a super chat. Matt, check DM for my prank call to TYT. Do we want to listen to a prank call to
How do you
TYT?
prank TYT?
They take calls?
Let me
Unless you called maybe a regular worker, just the TYT headquarters.
No, it looks
do
like
that.
it looks like
No, don't do
this
that.
is
Into the show?
like-
Are they taking
yeah, it
calls
looks like
now?
this is real. Looks like this is real. Here,
I'm down
I'm
to
dropping it.
listen.
There's 2 videos, 2 minutes each. Hold
Okay.
on. The other one's in the replies to this comment.
Okay.
To this tweet. It's just this is Hansi, a regular caller on my show. Regular listener. So I trust whatever he's sending.
Okay, Hansi.
Hansi was actually one of the smaller like Howard Stern Rat Pack members back in the day. Not Rat Pack, Whack Pack members back in the day.
Oh, we both pulled it in, David, at the same time. Like rid of mine.
Hey there, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hello.
What? Oh.
Hey, what's your name, brother?
Earl?
Yep, you're on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think that you and Anna are inspiration. I've named my metal band after you guys, man. You guys rock.
Wow. Well, now we literally do because you named a metal band after us.
Yeah, it's called Birthing People Who Are Fascist Pieces of Shit. And I think you're a scumbag who's getting paid by the Russians, and you pal around with RFK Jr., who's on Epstein's Island, you scumbag.
Okay, we got our first crank caller. Woo! We're on the board. I love it. Okay. So, but wait, I'm trying to understand. Are you a Democrat who thinks I'm pro-Trump?
No, I think you're just a piece of shit that is going on the fascist side, and you know where it's gonna go. You're an insider who pretends not to be an insider, but we all know you're an insider anyways, bro. You pretend to be anti-establishment, but your mainstream is just as mainstream media is. So you're full of shit, and so is Anna Kasparian. And enjoy your forward leaning to the right.
Okay, that's look, that's all wonderful, and you're a terrific angry caller, and I appreciate you. But I'm still trying to understand whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. I get that you think I'm a fascist and a piece of shit, right? Is he still on? Are you a Democrat or Republican?
I'm here. I'm here.
Are you a Democrat or Republican?
I'm neither.
Okay, so it's just a random crank call. Okay, all right.
It's not a crank call. I think you're a douchebag.
It's not a crank call. I think you're a douchebag.
It is.
All right, I have no idea which direction you're coming from, so I don't know how to answer.
So why would you hang out with an Epstein Island enthusiast like RFK Jr.?
Okay, so now you're against RFK Jr. So for a second there, I thought you might be an independent, but you're definitely not an independent, a Democrat, or Republican. The one thing you know is I'm a douchebag, but that's where we got stuck. Okay,
I think he's kind of caught off guard and doesn't know what to say.
How do you feel about? By the way, you're so.
Hey,
go to the next one too, because I want to hear this whole thing. Because this is actually Hansi. I think Hansi was just as nervous as Cenk. It seems like.
I gotta give Jen credit to. He's not just hanging up on the guy; like he's talking to him. He's interested.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. But I think Hansi got something unintentional out of this. I don't think Hansi
is there a
got
next
what
one?
he expected to get out of what he wanted to get out of it. But there's something unintentional there. Go ahead. Go to the second one.
Is there a second one? I don't see. There's
It's in the comments.
Oh, okay,
It's
wait.
in the replies.
Yeah.
For a second there, I thought you might be an independent, but you're definitely not an independent, a Democrat, or Republican. The one thing you know is I'm a douchebag, but that's where we got stuck. Okay, I don't know what you're for, brother.
How do you feel about? By the way, you're so pro worker, right? Then why why is your ex-staff accusing you of being a union buster then?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'll answer all these. Even though, so this is just random.
Are you a union buster?
No, I'm definitely not a union buster. So.
Well, there's evidence that proves otherwise, though.
What evidence? All right, brother. You've had a nice run. Bye-bye. Okay, so, but let me address that because I know I'm gonna get crank calls when you do random callers, and I know that they're gonna try to bring up stuff. Wow, oh wow. So, guys, we busted the union so hard here that there's a union here. Edward, are you in the union? Edward's in the union, look at that. Oh, that's so weird. John, you in the union?
Yes, I am.
Huh, they appear to be entirely unbusted.
But he fought the union, though. He's not being honest.
And they, oh my God, they're the union busters. We had, union came in, IATSE. We had negotiations. It was the most lovely, peaceful, amicable negotiations you've ever seen in your life.
That's a very Trumpian statement.
Here.
What?
We have really good benefits. And then we had a union. So, and the thing is, everyone has different version of me in their mind, right? Based on whatever crazy crap that they saw online. So people who, I mean, that guy's totally out of control in 1,000 different ways, right? He just wanted to say every negative thing in the world. I still literally don't know which side he's on or what he's for,
other
than just being angry. And then I thought it was fairly amusing overall. But for people who actually think that we busted a union and there's no union here, yeah, I could see why they'd be angry, but it's not true. And so
he did engage in union busting tactics.
I gave up caring about that stuff because there's so many, there's literally millions of people who believe terrible things about me that aren't even anywhere near true. So what am I gonna do? Fucking internet, you know what I'm saying?
I don't want to turn to a fucking commentary on other channel show. Like that's not. I don't.
Right.
Talk about fucking TLA.
Hansi wanted me to watch it. I thought to me, I don't think any of this was that interesting, except for him saying that he thought he was the guy could have been an independent until he said he didn't like RFK Jr. Like
all independents love RFK,
but
endorse Donald Trump.
Is Cenk still under the impression that RFK Jr. is an independent after he openly endorsed Donald Trump and is campaigning for him? I mean,
I think it's because he keeps taking dead animals, and independents famously like fucking around with dead animals. So maybe that's what it is.
RFK is such a fucking weird person. Man.
He honestly is so. I can't handle him. Problem. Yeah.
I'm surprised that the Majority Report doesn't get more prank calls. They did do a live call and show every single day, and I'm not sure if I've heard a prank call and. Majority Report, to be quite honest with you.
We got prank calls back in the day. I think it's harder for the prank callers to get in now because the way you call into the show is you call in and you get put on your number gets put in a queue, and you got to wait. So if you're not dedicated, like people who listen to the show every day and are ready to call in the second the phone lines are open, you're not getting through. It's not because we're weeding you out or something. We take the calls as they come in. We got no idea who's on the other line.
Chris, thank you for your super chat. Says I feel Biden has his hands in her race. She has Joe's campaign people, and she's still his VP. Plus, Biden's reportedly butthurt he left the race. In terms of the campaign people, 100%. Apparently she has some advisors from Biden's campaign. I don't know why. Why would you want them? And we've seen what's happened since then. I do think the fact that she is his VP, I don't think this is his fault necessarily, but it ties her hands. At least I think she feels that it ties her hands, especially on an issue like when it comes to foreign policy, issues that are ongoing that she doesn't feel comfortable, diverting from him on because they're in talks constantly. As disingenuous as those talks, say with Israel, for example, may be, I don't think she feels like she can really separate herself too clearly because of that.
But she has to.
But she has to, yes.
There's a point where your kindness or how you feel about Biden, it cannot matter. Because the whole point of you being there is there's an entire country who is depending on you to beat back a presidency that would take away the rights from so many people who the Democratic Party claimed to represent. And if your buddy Joe Biden is standing in the way of that, you got to throw him under the fucking bus. I'm sorry. This is politics. If you want to play, if you want a friendship, you got to find some new line of work.
Yeah.
Rachel Atwood, thank you, says not usually into posh, but my Mehdi crush is back. Oh, Mehdi Hassan. Yes. He's great
him.
for sure.
Looney Tunes 9000 says Florida has no right to govern TV stations.
Correct.
J-Man G with the
Wow,
most
look at
amazing
that.
super chat of all time.
Goodness.
Man, I gotta
Wow.
find multiple drops for this one.
What is that?
That's a crowd going, whoa!
Ooh, that's unsettling.
Oh yeah, there
That
are all
laugh.
these random, these unapplicable. That's a stolen directly from R.M. Brown. J-Man G, thank you for your super chat. Says, David, I know I'm a bit late to the convo as far as Halloween movies, like by a week. I hate on their face horror films. It's like cheap scares, extreme gore, etc. My top fun movies for Halloween: 1, Hocus Pocus. Isn't that a kids movie? I think I saw that as a kid. I don't remember.
It's
it
good.
too much,
Yeah,
though.
it's a kids movie, but it's
Like a
fun for
family
the whole
movie?
family. Yeah.
Ernest Scared Stupid. I was never really too into Ernest. Zombieland, which I heard is good, but I have not seen. If there's a follow-up, I don't see it in the list yet. So there's apparently more coming. Oh no, Zombieland 1 and 2. I thought you meant this is like one of two.
Oh,
super
I,
chats.
I read that the same way.
Okay.
By the way, speaking
Zombieland 1
of
and 2. I have not seen
horror,
them.
last week Tara had sent me a super chat to recommending the movie I Saw the TV Glow, and I watched it. It was very interesting. It was certainly
Don't
not what I
spoil it.
expected.
I still gotta watch it.
No, I won't. It was not what I expected.
That's the new
but-
one?
Yeah, it's a new one. I believe it came out recently, I want to say. I'm not sure what the year is. I think it's this year. I wasn't super duper happy with the end, but nonetheless, I'm still glad that I watched it. I won't say anything else because I don't want to spoil it for you. I also watched The Visit. I don't know if somebody recommended that
Visit's
here
good.
or if
Visit's
somebody
good, yes.
recommended that.
Is
on
that the
my
one with the
Patreon.
scary grandma?
Oh yeah,
And-
Is
yeah.
that what that is?
That was just
Yeah.
a comedy. I'm sorry, I loved it. It was a comedy. It was so
No,
good.
I hate that.
was
I
great.
watched that. It was terrifying.
Really?
A little bit of
I
both.
thought it was
I can't watch horror
hilarious.
movies. That's why I can't watch horror movies. No, it's just no.
No, but the great thing about horror movies is there is purposeful like camp in a lot of them. Like there are ones that take themselves very seriously, and there are ones that are like purposefully like campy and like.
Yeah, but there are
they-
enough moments in the visit where it's just like I'm not.
I mean, people might not recall this, but like half of Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like a comedy. There's a whole secondary storyline with like the fucking like police chief and his car breaking down and getting into like southern hick mischief or whatever, trying to get to where he's got to go or whatever, while the kids at the house are being slaughtered. Like there's a whole like there's a lot of campy stuff in horror.
Is this for me? Oh, Daniel R. $2 for getting the Seinfeld reference. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I could not let that one slide. That was a great reference. Oh, this is for me as well. I always call you Table Toast, and you never say anything to me, so I'll never know whether I'm right or not. But thank you so much for your $2 Table Toast.
Kowalski with a $10 super chat. Matt, I sent you a DM on Twitter. I promise I will not make a habit of this. But when I got home, I looked out my front door and this is what I saw. 2 massive solar flare events this year. Wait, let me see. Ooh, look at that. Hold on, let me share to this screen. Whoa.
Wow.
That looks like what is it called? The Aurora Borealis.
Aurora
Borealis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not what it
beautiful.
is, you said, right? You said it's...
He said Aurora Bolus.
I think he just misspelled it. I don't think it's
No,
a
somebody in the
compliment.
chat said it's Bolus, so
What?
it's a real thing.
The hell is Aurora Bolus?
Yeah, I've never heard of that. I've only heard of Aurora Borealis. Or Aurora is such a hard word to say, by the way. It's like rural.
Hon Kowalski sent me another one, and this one looks like a this one looks like something out of like a dystopian like apocalypse movie.
Wow.
I guess that's his farm equipment in front of it.
That could be a wallpaper.
Looks like a Martian image
That's
almost.
great.
Somebody is
stars
saying
there,
that
too.
Bolus is wrong. You all
Yeah,
are
it's
gaslighting
Borealis.
us.
It's not. I looked up Aurora Borealis and I got an obituary for somebody.
No, it's Borealis.
Somebody's name.
Okay, so we weren't wrong.
It's Aurora
The chat's just
Borealis. It's not
gaslighting.
Aurora Borealis.
Gaslighting us every week. Shame on you
They're
all.
just fucking with you.
Fritz Jacques, thank you so much for the $1.99. Happy Thanksgiving tomorrow, David.
Oh, thank you. I would have been able to get a turkey, but I'm $2 short, so I cannot get one now because that was not for me.
Tomorrow's Canadian Thanksgiving?
It's not tomorrow. It's this weekend, but
Is it a big thing?
Monday's the holiday. It's big enough that I'm having dinner with my family and we're having a turkey and stuff. Yeah, it's a big thing. It's a holiday.
It's like businesses closed and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's.
Wow.
I feel like Americans have your Thanksgiving is like a bigger deal for some reason. I don't know why it feels that way to me, but it feels like
Probably
it is.
the second biggest holiday next to Christmas here in this.
Yeah, like the way you guys treat it is so weird to me,
It's very
considering
huge.
it's so close to Christmas. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
They
I
really
like
all
that
have the same like
I like that it's
stuffing
October.
and
It's a
all
nice
that
space
stuff?
between. Yeah, it's all the same stuff.
Okay.
Actually, I'm quite looking forward to it. I love food. I love stuff.
I love Thanksgiving personally.
Super looking.
Is there
forward to eating.
something? Is there some sort of more Canadian-y thing about it, like some sort of dish? Or
Yeah, we all put
something
on
that-
like these hats with like antlers and fight each other. Like, no.
Very good, very good.
So it's
I
the
believe
same
it.
American holiday. I'm assuming you guys also do the evening ritual, light as a feather, stiff as a board, too.
Yes, we do that. Yep, whatever that means.
You know, the American tradition at Thanksgiving where you do light as a
Oh,
feather,
right,
stiff
right.
as a board,
I've-
and you make somebody levitate in your family. You do a satanic spell
Right.
for about 10
right,
minutes, and then
right.
you eat.
Yes. We
Okay, so yeah,
definitely
that's
do
the
that.
same.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think. Is there anything that we eat or do specifically to Canada? And
Do you have maple syrup?
Yeah, of course they put that on.
maybe
the
if I have
turkey.
pancakes in the morning, I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Do you
different. I'm
guys
sure-
do the
I bet there is.
Do you guys do the Oh, what's it called? What
Black
is it?
Friday?
What is that? No, what is the
There's no Black.
Black
Well,
Friday.
we have your Black Friday actually. With like we used to not when I was younger. There was no Black Friday deals, and now we get Black Friday deals for your
Oh, yeah?
holiday. It's so weird. Yeah.
Do you guys do the cranberry sauce too?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh
Absolutely.
wow, okay. I thought that was just an American thing.
Mm.
You guys
No.
do corn?
I don't think they have corn in Canada, do they?
We do corn. Is I think I have corn with like many meals. That isn't like specific to like Thanksgiving. Corn is just.
Do you
like,
guys do pies?
You can have corn whenever. Pumpkin pie, yeah.
Sweet
Wow.
potato?
Oh yeah.
Apple?
Stuffed mushrooms?
Sometimes there's little apples in the stuffing, which is really good.
Oh, David.
Mhm.
I just lost all respect
Do you guys
for
put
Canadians.
raisins in your stuffing? Do you guys
Oh,
put
I don't want that
raisins in your
shit. Fuck
stuffing?
no. I'm,
Why
I'm
would
sure
they
some
put
people. I'm sure
raisins in
some
their
people.
stuffing?
I know.
I'm sure some
That's
people
disgusting.
do. I don't want no.
Oh my
raisins in my
god.
stuffing.
That's some American white people shit that I absolutely unequivocally
I don't want raisins
condemn.
generally.
Instead
Don't
of-
give me any raisins.
Instead of turkey, do you guys eat moose?
Oh yeah, we have a big. We roast a big moose outside as we're cutting down the trees. No, I don't know what I'm talking about here. I think that's. I think it's the same basically.
Sean, thank you for the $1.99. Let's fucking go, Marjorie.
Why did he send it to you? I'm pretty sure that's let's fucking go Mets. What the deuce?
No, it's Marjorie. That's why
Marjorie.
he sent it to me. It's Marjorie. He's a Marjorie fan. I'm so delirious.
or
that time of the night.
it's
This is
left
the best part
fucking
of it.
go mafia. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, maybe.
This is
No,
the
that's
Or
best
not
part of
Mike.
the night.
Mike, he sent it to me. Maybe I didn't even consider that one. My brain defaulted to Marjorie.
And it's like, God, your brain goes to mush. It's like 7:30 p.m. and your brain goes to mush.
Straight up. Look, my time is between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Okay. After that, my aides have to pull
Oh
me
my God.
in.
Imagine we had this podcast when it was our time, but for you, if we started this at 8:30 Pacific time, you'd be done.
Well, we do with the Cavernacle Gaming podcast. You see me, I'm just sitting there
that's in the
quiet the whole
morning.
time, and people accuse me of having resting bitch face, but I'm just tired. I'm not cranky. I'm just waking up still.
Mornings are easy. This podcast, we should actually record this podcast at like 10 in the morning. That'd be fantastic.
Oh goodness, I would be.
That would work out so well.
My brain would not function.
Oh, you guys are terrible.
Bay Photo with a super chat. Raiders went to Vegas. A supposedly going to Vegas. We'll see. Warriors just went across the bay to San Francisco. But yeah, Oakland lost 3 teams. I was right.
Wow.
Not for me.
Oh, Chris Corcoran, this one's for me. $2. If Harris really is Biden, isn't that blackface? I don't feel comfortable with that. Yeah, I don't like that one. Skull Rose, $10. Thank you so much. Socialism is based and red-pilled. It's definitely based, but I don't know how it's red-pilled. Because I don't think any conservatives think that workers should own the means of production unless you sell it to them in like a roundabout way. But the Republicans certainly don't like it. So I don't think it's red-pilled. But how
It's a joke because socialist colors are red.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Regex with a $10 super chat. Last minute weekly dono. Thank you. I see you all got Sabrina Lone School, so I'm gonna have to watch NYC. Who is that?
I don't know. I had a friend whose last name looks like that. Like he's Romanian, so I know how to say it.
They're talking about women's basketball. I'm sorry, I'm not a big women's basketball fan. I'm not a big basketball fan in general. Nothing to do with women.
Look at this sexist shit.
I'm just not a big basketball fan. Although, you know, when the Knicks were having their little run late in the season last year, earlier this year, I was watching a little bit, but not like I do with the Mets, not like I do with soccer.
Yeah,
even hockey, I'm more into. I would say
I'll watch Raptors in the playoffs, but otherwise, I don't really care.
I would say my my sports lineup for the major sports is soccer, baseball, and hockey, depending on who's doing good. Because I really only care about either if the New York team is, specifically the Mets for baseball, doing good, and then the other one, whichever, and then basketball, and then football. Not really a big basketball or football fan.
Yeah, Corvair in the chat says Oregon have ducks too. Mike knows. Yeah, we have ducks. We also have geese and other wildlife. It's a beautiful state.
Oh, I will say my son plays basketball, and it's fun to watch kids play basketball because they don't just fucking score all the time. Like it's actually
so it's more like hockey where it's just like, oh, well, they got one.
Like when they make a basket, it's like a big fucking deal, just like it is when they score a goal in hockey or soccer. Like
I can see that being more exciting. They should raise the basketball nets in basketball. Make it a more intense sport.
It should be more difficult. It should be
or they should be moving, so it's harder to get it in.
I'm lower for the shorter people, so it's fair. So it's a true meritocracy.
No, fuck that. Okay, well, I could tell we aren't in sports.
During the Olympics, I was watching basketball, and that was good basketball. I don't know. Maybe I do like basketball, just not as much as the other sports. But like, I feel like you could miss the entirety of a basketball game and just tune in for the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter, and that's all you need, because they're scoring back and forth so much that, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I have a hard time getting into it. Like, why am I going to watch the first 3 quarters? What's the point?
Right. I mean, it is exciting when a team comes back at the end, but again, you could just watch the end.
And that doesn't happen all that often. Like any big comebacks anyways. Parker.
Is this for me? Yeah, I think it's for me. Parker with a super chat. If Tester doesn't win in Montana and Allred doesn't beat Cruz, Dems lose the Senate. This will tank Harris's presidency. Excuse me, in my opinion, McConnell as majority leader. How's Tester looking in Montana?
Not great. Last I checked.
All right. I got no
if
idea.
they can get you
what to say
passed, that's not going to be a good presidency. Law Gnomes, thank you for your super chat. As Tesla's event is 30 minutes late with 1.5 million viewers. Bets on Elon claiming it has over 1 billion tomorrow. I'm sure he will inflate.
I'm not even paying attention to it.
I didn't even know they had a thing.
They're announcing their robo taxi thing, but like,
okay,
they're just announcing it. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing.
Is it a Tesla in a suit, like the robot, like the guy in the suit?
Yeah, it might be.
Is the robot like?
Yeah,
just,
might very well be.
It's a painted Tesla. There it is.
I'm so tired of Elon Musk and Tesla and SpaceX.
Yeah,
I'm just.
I try not to pay
over
too
it.
much attention. I blocked him too. I blocked people that was like, I don't want to see you every day, so I blocked them. Like, I don't need to see you every day.
Especially when he
see Elon Musk every
blasts
day.
his shit at you as soon as you go onto Twitter.
I get
so much.
I have him blocked and Tim Pool blocked, and I got a notification about them like tweeting each other. Like, I've blocked both of you. Why am I seeing this fucking notification? You piece of shit.
Do you have push notifications turned on for Twitter?
Yeah, but only certain things. Like, I don't
have
get like
zero
not for like
notifications.
likes or anything.
That's brave, David.
Well, why?
I think this is.
They're usually not terrible like that. Actually, I may have I may have turned them off after.
I'm assuming the worst because I've never done it, so maybe it's not that bad. Sorry, this is for you, Matt.
Yeah, my dad with a super. Am I losing my voice? My dad with a membership super chat, member for 14 months. Thank you, Dad. I was wondering about that Substack subscription. I put myself down for the $80 annual subscription.
Wow.
I don't even have $80 set up as an annual subscription. So I appreciate the pledge, but I don't know.
I saw that
they,
there
they,
as an
They
option.
recommended that you do $80. Interesting.
80 was one of them. Yeah, I was like, wow, Matt's getting a little greedy here.
Yeah, right.
No, I do not have it, but now that I know people are willing to pay $80, aka my dad, maybe $80 is the way to go.
Couldn't your dad just like wire you $80? Like,
I mean, he could.
Then he would
but
get the
he
content
wants-
automatically.
Yeah.
I guess he
actually
wants the
wants
content.
this.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
actually
okay.
watches this.
He
stuff.
actually
Not just,
wants
like,
the
going-
content. All right.
Yeah, he
Wow.
actually watches this stuff.
Matt's
yeah.
dad actually loves him.
Only for 14 months though. Before that, he was not a fan. But
He
14
now,
months ago,
yeah.
he's like, you know what? I'm going to subscribe.
He watches Majority Report every single day. I don't even watch the Majority Report every single day.
Your dad
more
genuinely
knowledgeable than a lot
sounds
of
so
people.
amazing.
Yeah.
He's the father to all leftists. Kenzie Page, thank you for the membership for 16 months. Appreciate that.
Oh, this is for me.
Not for me.
The Lumpen Lodge, thank you for your super chat. Says thoughts on Tim Black going full meg. Wait, what? No.
With full MAGA? No.
I haven't heard that name in years.
Bashing immigrants, embracing climate change, denialism, and nation of Islam.
No.
What? No.
I've not seen this. No way.
No,
There's
I don't.
no way
I have
he
a
went
hard
full
time.
MAGA.
I feel like he's a genuine person that I have a hard time believing that. Like even when I don't disagree, when I don't agree with him, I feel like he's
Yeah.
been genuine. So I have a hard
Doesn't
time.
he support Cornel West also? He's not MAGA.
I got to look more into this. I can't be jumping to conclusions.
Yeah,
I
I've
haven't
not
haven't
heard
seen any of this, so I don't know.
Lumpin might be trolling. I haven't heard anything about this.
That's
Wait, I'm really
wild.
interested in knowing this though.
I only got one more, so I'm just gonna do it. J-Man G. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for your $20 super chat. You are
This is truly mental
no,
illness.
you're not that.
Oh.
I did everything
right and they indicted me.
Thank you so much for your super chat. Here's $20 for your I said that again, tortilla pie, Dave. I don't need those, but thank you so much for that $20. I appreciate it. I'm going to jump off. There's only a few more left. Maybe I'll stay on. There's like a few more left.
Okay, we'll crush them fast. I'll go through. I only have a couple left myself. Bay photo.
I'm like, did he really go?
$4.99.
I'm looking.
They
my
say
God.
tortoise pie, not tortillere. A ton of journalists sat on info until the end of the Trump admin for books, but they weren't exactly broke. We're talking Woodward, Maggie Haberman. Yeah, she's another person who does that. I don't respect that. I do not respect that. I still think that they can make a lot of money and get a lot of headlines with some of the revelations that they have. So it feels really gross to me, especially if these revelations are crucial for democracy. Another thing in the same vein, how networks will paywall interviews with presidential candidates. The Howard Stern interview, to my understanding, with Kamala Harris was paywalled. You have to be a paid subscriber to watch that interview. These networks will sometimes copyright claim you for an interview with a candidate. That should not be legal. It's not only fair use, but this is something that is important for all of us, and not just Americans, for the world. Because I'm sorry, even though David can't vote in our election affects Canada. In fact, like, American elections affect the entire world, so we should all have access to it.
Wait, where was I? No, that's wrong. Here? I think I'm here.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Lizzie Bennett with $10. Thank you, Lizzie. This just in, American human rights campaigner and mother of Robert Kennedy Jr. and 10 others, Ethel Kennedy, has died at 96. Sources speculate it was from induced embarrassment by her son.
Oh my god!
Wow, that would definitely do it. Skull Rose, $10.
I think it was more so the fact she was 96.
The 96 probably had more to do with it.
Yeah, but the embarrassment might have played a role. I mean, I would not want RFK Jr. to be my son. I would do one of these 9-month abortions that Trump talks about that don't happen, but I would have made it happen for him if I could have seen the future. Skull Rolls with $10.
How old is RFK Jr.?
It's never too late to abort, Matt.
It's a 70-year abortion. He's 70. This man is 70 years old. Hold on. Times 12, the 840th month abortion.
Listen, I'm an abortion extremist. Mike, I'm a transgender commie degenerate who watches Vosh, Hasanabi, and other political streamers at work to not lose my mind. Vosh said based and red pilled a lot. Oh, okay, so it's not something that's random. I guess I could see why people might say that to reappropriate the Matrix thing from the right. I understand that, actually. I think we should take it back since the Matrix writer is trans. So we should take it back.
Tokyo Hans with a super chat. To make basketball more interesting, they should play without using their hands and with the hoop sideways, like the Mayans did. Wait, what? What did the Mayans do? The Mayans had a sport like that?
They played with telekinesis.
He's probably joking, but I don't know.
All right, well.
Chris Corcoran with $2. Okay, forget my last chat. That was a bad joke.
It's all right.
Thank you, Chris. We all tell bad jokes. I never tell bad jokes, but we all do, generally speaking.
Yes, Mike is perfect.
My jokes have
the perfect comedy. No one has ever not laughed.
Yeah, 100% hit rate for me. That's it. I'm all out.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
What about on Twitch? Hold on, really quick.
I want to see, do I have enough followers to even bother with Twitch?
Yeah, I don't know if I do.
Cranky Bookworm
6
subscribed
people.
for 1 month. Cranky Bookworm
Twitch.
subscribed for
Goodbye.
1 month at tier 1. Thank you. The Serfs rated me. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Lance.
Take care, David.
And peace, David. And Soy Bread Ward subscribed for 1 month at tier 1. Thank you so much, Soy Bread Ward. And that's it. I'm done. Who we rating?
Didn't somebody last week make a recommendation?
I don't remember.
What
How are you yawning at like 8 o'clock your time? What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm tired. I crashed and burned.
Who did they recommend last time? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. We rated Dan from the web last week, but they said that they wanted us to raid somebody else. I don't remember who they said.
Who should I raid? I raided Riverboat Jack last night after my stream. So let's do someone different today.
Cosmopolitics is on.
We've rated politics a bunch of times. Let's do someone completely different.
Do you all have any recommendations?
I'm looking what people say they got. Let's see. I see people saying Tom Thinks. Who's that? And then people said Dylan Burns, who I don't think we've rated.
Yeah, I don't
on
think
this
we have
show
either.
before.
He rated me on Twitch a couple of weeks ago. It'd be nice to return the favor, although I don't
All
have that
right,
much.
so let's rate Dylan Burns. Sounds good to me.
All right. Burns TV.
I'm pressing the start rate button. Are you pressing the start rate button?
I am. It's counting down right now.
All right, hold on. Don't press it yet, though. We'll press the rate now button at the same time. That way it all goes at the same time.
You ready?
Wait. Hold on. It's still counting down for me. 5, 4, 3, 2. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Disruptionist.com to subscribe to my newsletter. It's free right now. And there'll still be free stuff on it. So, even when I do launch the paid part, you'll still get free stuff. Trust me. Anyone who watches listen to my podcast or watches my live stream knows I have a very bad time paywalling anything. Everything is always free. But yeah, all right. Mike, anything you wanted to say?
No, that's it.
All right.
See you all later.
3, 2, 1. Take care, everybody.